Alrighty then, gamers. What's up? It's that time of the week again. For the next 3 hours, you'll be watching Bounty Hunters, hopefully. We are playing show matches in this funny little game called Guilty Gear Strive, and the format is first to 7 wins. The fights tonight are crafted with skill-based matchmaking in mind, so that every bout is going to be as exciting as possible. Now, I'm your usual dumbass host TayKay, and before we get this show on the road, let's see what we have in store for tonight. So we're back to our usual 7-match full roster. Lots of high-level matches tonight for sure. We could have almost made a full, I think, full Vanquisher roster from the signups. So action tonight will indeed be packed, as they say. Finland showing up en masse again as the other carrying team again. I think we have, yeah, other than one of the slots, we have Finnish representation, but also abnormally high amount of US players participating, which is 2, I guess, but that's way more than 1. Usually the maximum we're rocking with is either 1 or 0. Tonight, 2 in the matchup slots 5 and 6, as TayKay returns on a different character. I think we saw TayKay on Axel previously. The other one making their debuts tonight is BanjoStanjo. But I'm looking at this roster, I'm extremely excited. We're pretty front-loaded tonight, starting with 3 huge bangers, then coming back with a decently huge bangers at the end as well. Yeah, should we just jump through the cards already? I guess yeah, we could definitely do that. So let me do a couple of things before that. Oh yeah, I forgot to enable this. Alright, so we should be en route, ready for gaming soon. Yeah, started with like basically three matches in a row that could be like top seed cards in their own right. First one tonight gonna be Froyo versus Maunuri, an interesting lore matchup for Finland once again. Froyo has been, I think for as long as I can remember, it's been Finnish competitors back to back to back to back, and has a pretty good track record so far. Looking to potentially take another Finnish player pelt tonight as well on that ever so destructive Ino. Now Maunuri, known for a couple of different characters. I think the longest standing one recently has been the Kai, but now is on a slightly different kind of trajectory here on that Giovanna. We'll be able to close the distance slightly faster, not necessarily the got buttons that you might see from Kai, but the mobility is definitely there. And I guess which attribute would be better against fighting with Ino? I guess it really depends. But yeah, let me grab this one and let's page the players as well. There we go. I think that should be most of our preparations for now, so we can strictly talk Guilty Gear. I could maybe even pull out the stat chart, because I think I had some hugely inflated number in my head for how many Finnish players Froyo has been fighting as of recent. There was previously the worst guy, there was Hoplan, there was Rygand, And then slightly further in the past, there was Puuro as well, who is gonna be appearing tonight on the last matchup slot, but not on this one, but the last one. Yeah, it's been a lot of Finnish players that Froyo has had to gone through. It has gone through them pretty successfully as well. Super interesting what kind of spin Maunuri is gonna bring to this character. Maunuri is another, I would say, pretty fundamentals kind of player. So this character should probably serve him as well, if maybe not even better than Kai. We're gonna see. Right, I think we have Froyo in the lobby as well. So Scotland versus Finland gaming inbound. So on the Ino side, the eternal question for this kind of anime air dasher blender characters, if you get that knockdown once, it's gonna be super good. Before that, it can be a little bit of a rocky road, because you do need to earn those initial knockdowns. And Ino is the kind of character who sends a lot of shit, high risk, high reward at the opponent. If you miss, such as like if you send a stroke the big tree, they guess right, you run into their lows. If you press 6-6, dash forward, you go flying at them. But if they're ready to anti-air, you're gonna eat a combo, that kind of stuff. It's very hard to play like super conservative on Ino. To a certain extent, you're often committing to some stuff. Now, good jump out of the throw attempt, forcing Maunuri to go for that very early aggressive burst if you want to keep your opponent in the corner. And I think in this kind of situation, you definitely want to. Now, in this kind of live situation, you also present an option to your opponent. Are you still gonna burst, or are you gonna kind of take that risk of bursting back into the neutral with very little life to spend? And the answer is gonna be from Froyo. Yes, indeed, I am gonna play, especially since she managed to get Maunuri pretty low on health, powering through the 5p anti-air with the down dog, and recognizing that there was a kill to be had as well, immediately into destruction and mayhem. Ooh, that was a 2S there, barely reaching the startup of the spiral arrow. Usually you're trying to poke with maybe something low profile like 6p, so the timing doesn't matter, you usually end up going under that move. But a well-placed counter poke will do as well. Speaking of well-placed things here, Maunuri go with the air-to-air, full conversion as well. Doesn't quite manage to buffer the super here, so a soft knockdown. Froyo has a lot of resources. Oh, drifts forward, wastes all of that meter. Burst is still available. Maunuri might have been thinking about it. Reversal super will slightly equalize the situation, and a safe jump. In that burst situation, Maunuri is loaded, but does he get to use it? He will get the opportunity to launch that 100 if he wants to. Drifting forward, back to, oh my god, that was a mix-up for sure. And in that kind of situation, when you are locked into that slowdown, RC slowdown frames as Froyo here, it's really hard to justify pressing anything, so you're kind of just riding the vibes of whatever your opponent is going to set you up with. Oh, the delayed low here, multi-hitting as well. One of the ace tools of this character. You are looking to pressure your opponent a lot, and you are often pressuring them a lot with just the standard strike throw. Using the up dog here, however, catching with a little bit of a tricksy-wixy. Froyo coming from the sky once again, able to counter poke the startup of the spiral arrow. But now once again, look how much meter Maunuri has. Chooses to use the deflect shield, so going for the burst resource first, and then we have so much to cash out with immediate RC into FRC super. Basically, like these kind of maneuvers, you're trying to prevent the opponent from even thinking about the burst or the burst opportunity, forcing them to take it to the next round. Another crisp micro dash forward into 5k. You know, he's one of these guys. Oh, that's a lot of plus frames here. Connecting the spiral arrow on an airborne opponent. Reset here into Mad Love, into more pressure. Maunuri not afraid at all, pressing 5p, basically saying, I don't think that float dash is gonna be completely airtight. Nice dash jump out of the corner, straight into the spiral arrow, and frame jump into a big up dog. Misses the combo. It's okay, as long as you don't worry too much about those combo drops. Keep it going, keep it flowing, and you'll do good. And so far, Maunuri hasn't even dropped that much stuff. So looking like the Giovanna is, to a certain extent, a comfortable pick. Not sure how much time Maunuri has had with this character so far, but being able to go 3-0 straight against Froyo, already boding well for our Finnish warrior. And this conversion we saw earlier, a full one to the corner, just a little bit short on that last bit of meter to super. It's okay, we're gonna have so much more of that where that came from in a second. This time, not quite the safe jump from Froyo. Oh, and the down dog again! Don't you dare to anti-air me! We're gonna dog squat you on the way down. And down goes Froyo. It's such a tricky conundrum if you see this character jumping at you with 50 meter. I mean, you could also try to just evade, maybe backdash out or position yourself so that even if they do the dive kick super, it's gonna completely miss. But that requires compromises. Like, it's way easier on layer 1 to simply stand there and take the anti-air. Very nice, whatchamacallit, wild assault conversion from Froyo, coast to coast. You know, one of the best corner carries of any character in this game with that small investment of 50 burst. Gonna take the wall with the down dog here once again. A very common conundrum here. 100 meter here. Froyo doesn't choose to hit the super. Even better, we'll be able to save it for this pressure or the cash out potentially into the air super. Not quite enough. Next hit, winner takes it all. Maunuri also has 100, I think. So can RC here into a tap dust react to this? Usually in that kind of situations, you would have to know that, okay, they are gonna RC, and after they RC, what's gonna happen? Is it just normal pressure? Is it like a normal RC? If it's FRC, it's probably gonna be like a quick low or a quick overhead. And if so, are they gonna play the overhead? Lots of questions like that you have to ask. Select 2D once again, finds the target. Oh, that was a well-timed backdash from Froyo. Able to get out of the frame trap. Oh, but we are using that command dash Shabi to bounce far forward and empower that up dog. Gonna be minus on the X kick, so for fading the pressure, taking it easy. Oh, okay, nice turn then on the super. I think Froyo tried to get a late RC out, but the startup on the RC is quite a few frames, so a lot of supers that are on the faster side won't be able to be RC on reaction, especially on point blank. Okay, again! The 5B! Checking it just in case. Could be a fuzzy timing as well. Maunuri has been so consistent preventing those sort of loose jump-ins so far. Madlove catches Maunuri from the airborne position, drops them on the ground, and now it's time to mix it up again. Wait, was that a Kara super? I thought I saw Froyo with zero meter there. But on the next frame, going into the super, that must have been a Kara super, because Kara super is in that kind of situation, or Kara cancels in that kind of situation, can bill you basically the last meter that you need, even though you are like 49 and just 1 meter short. That was a really great play by Froyo there, securing the round, and we definitely need those rounds at this point. Do not let Maunuri run away with too much momentum here. He is building quite a bit. Walks patiently until the up dog. Very minus on block, usually allowing you to take your turn or get a sort of an advantage on the following RPS situation. I said to air snipe again, stands up for the 20 frame overhead this time. And the counter poke as Maunuri is trying to dash in. This looks good for Froyo. So many resources. We can do a lot of stuff here. Guilty Gear is one of those nasty games where the more meter you have, the more you have to basically, you usually get the last word when you have more meter than your opponent. And if you have 2 meter over your opponent, oh boy, they're basically forced to just dance to your tune for the rest of the I guess until you build a little bit of your own. Right, into the corner, burst has been used by both players. And after that, Maunuri remaining in the aggressive position here. Nice, that finish shimmy jump. Ooh, another snipe. So Maunuri has been basically showcasing a lot of different kinds of air-to-air. I think so far we've seen the jump B, the jump K, and did we see jump S as well? Really good repertoire of different air-to-air tools, which is kind of like what you want to have on a character like this. High mobility once again, trying to catch with the jump B. In case Froyo tries to take the air, like usually when Ino does take the air, it's gonna be something like a quick back jump into maybe a dive. Well, the backdash is good, escapes it. However, doesn't get the punish as a result. Big counter hit 5 heavy. That's gonna lead into some decent damage, especially since Maunuri is saving that 50. Will be able to burn it this time. Into a basically guess for your life kind of a situation. And if you do take a hit here, you have to burst really fast. However, Froyo doesn't go for it. The nerves to hold it. If Maunuri canceled into basically anything, that would have been a kill. I think the idea was to try to go for like a hard read that your opponent is trying to take the burst bait there at the end, which did happen, so you got some value out of that. But if Froyo was able to get a hit after that, you had all of that wild assault charges to basically break the wall immediately and try to build your own snowball after that. Nice air movement there, making the grounded up dog whiff into a whiff punish from the skies. Froyo looking strong this time, doesn't manage to buffer the super though. It's a huge loss on like a setup character such as like Ino, or like a super hard pressure characters like Leo. Able to go under, just a shovey with no cancel here. And Maunuri, oh, okay, a little bit of a drop there at the end, but hey, a lot of the combo drops like this can be salvaged into a close slash, and as long as you can land a close slash, be it on hit or a block, you're basically cruising on Guilty Gear Strive. It was a very aggressive looking deflect shield, able to push Froyo all the way to the corner with a single investment of 50. Much rather invest the 50 on deflect shield if you can, rather than the full blue burst. Speaking of that deflect shield, build a little bit of distance between the two. RC to make the pressure flow. Ooh, okay. Got them sleeping there. No anti-airs this time from Maunuri. However, the one little touch from Spiral Arrow into Tap Dust once again. A great timing to play that, despite how much meter you have left. Spiral Arrow working as a makeshift anti-air, and here's the real deal anti-air 6P. Got low profiling frames for days. Only lacking in rewards, I guess, in Guilty Gear Strive. A lot of characters can't really sort of convert that button too much. Whip on the down dog, that's gonna be meter that Maunuri ain't gonna be building back anytime soon. So Froyo maybe catching a little bit of a break here. The super command grab calling out the deflect shield. This is a huge wing. Big swing on the life situation, basically equaling the life, but Maunuri also lost that initial investment on the deflect shield, so no burst available. And Froyo able to ride that RPS reach momentum all the way to the end. There we go with the you see the hover dash getting there once again just before the Spiral Arrow from Maunuri goes online. Resetting into the Mad Love, lots of plus frames out of that. Aura walking forward, Maunuri tries to jump but doesn't quite have the trajectory to escape. Waking up with the 5P again and then straight into the burst bait. Maunuri has had a pretty keen sense when the opponent wants to burst. Of course, oh, nice F-Shiki into an immediate super conversion. Good timing to go for that as well, because you're not gonna need much more. There, oh my god, it's the same backdash. Disengage from the round start, go for the Spiral Arrow. Froyo is catching that pattern and pushing forward really aggressively to put hitboxes out there before the Spiral Arrow can do anything. And And yeah, that's the cash out. Should be the kill. No, not quite, actually. Still on positive bonus. Yeah, just drop a quick little empty low. Ain't much of a chance for Maunuri to go for the burst there anymore anyway. So, ooh. Firing out the gold burst. So now Maunuri will basically be dry on the reversal resources or the burst resources. This is gonna be smooth sailing here. Deflect Shield is an option potentially, which I mean, you know, is a high-low kind of a character, so it's definitely a potent tool. There are other considerations when going for the Deflect Shield as well. It's the timing. Timing is super crucial, because you might invest that 50 burst without getting like any value whatsoever. If the opponent is using forward-moving special moves and just basically negating the pushback immediately. It really depends. It's a tool you need a lot of knowledge on. If you just throw it out willy-nilly, very reasonable that it's not going to get you too much value. Froyo calling out the shimmy here from Maunuri. That was really nice RPS. Because Maunuri has been going for all sorts of different kinds of shimmies quite a few times already. This time Froyo choosing a slightly more aggressive approach. Oh, speaking of aggressive, picking an anti-air with the 6 heavy. I think that was premeditated because it came from such a long, far away distance away. Straight into the 2D counter hit. This is gonna take it to the wall. Maunuri would have been a little short on the meter as well. Right back at you. Bringing you back to the right corner. Maunuri spending every... Oh no! Drifted out of the... was that 2S? Super active 2S, but still shoved yourself back into it. Situation rather even. The up dog, I think, ended up being plus frames for Maunuri, connecting on an airborne opponent. Oh, the YOLO down finds its mark, and just like that, Froyo was down a lot of rounds, or a lot of games even, but has been able to bring it even 4-4. Might get a disconnection here. Was basically down, I think, 3 games, right? It was like 1-4 in Maunuri's favor. Even starting the whole set like 3-0. Froyo having the nerves to not succumb to the onslaught of Maunuri too early, at least. We are moving to... I guess we've been in the mid game for a while. We are moving to the later stage of the set with basically even kind of situation. Not quite as even, not like a clean slate, because at this point you've had a lot of information downloaded from your opponent. It's definitely much more... Okay, here's a Sherlock Holmes take. Much more interesting when you've played 8 games already, but you are still dead even in the set. Now, at this point, it's basically like a standard FT3 tournament set to win it, but with huge amount of added knowledge on top of it. Maunuri has been super strong with the pressure. Once you get there with the Giovanna, especially working in the left corner, has been very successfully bringing back the rounds. Although Froyo, so you could say it's the same for Froyo as well. Newsflash, you get the first hit, you get the initiative in a Guilty Gear game, and you're usually favored to win the round after that. Let's dive right back into it from a 4-4 position. Looking for 3 more. Who's gonna get there first?
Mankind knew that they cannot change.
Getting a small momentum lead at this point is gonna be huge. This time not revving up the spiral arrow, instead backdash into a forward dash into far slash, which ends up catching Froyo airborne. It's one of the most, you know, whatchamacallit, one of the most randomly people catching anti-airs in the game, the far slash from Giovanna. So active, so unless you're like jumping in from a really good angle, very prone to meaty. Oh, with that meaty, very, very meaty looking up dog. FRC, which ends up being respected. Just an empty FRC into call out the deflect shield into a throw. Okie dokie. And the repercussions of that are gonna carry over this round, because all of the, like, every time you choose to spend burst resources towards the end of the round, it's gonna echo. The sort of effects are gonna echo very long time, because that's the resource that transfers between the rounds in Guilty Gear. Oh, again, very delayed up dog here. Doesn't quite manage to get a whole lot out of that. I think if it's, unless it's, do you get something better if it's, I guess corner gives you a little bit better. Reversal out of there. Okay, we are cashing out. Recognizes there is a kill to be had. That's probably part of the equation for Maunuri here to hit the super. If it can kill, so you especially get this kind of decision making a lot with characters who can reversal with a normal DP, which of course cannot be cancelled, but then could choose to reversal with a super as well. When you realize that that reversal super could kill you or kill the opponent, it's like ever so slightly more interesting kind of an option to consider. I drop him in the corner. The pressure is tight this time. Maunuri might have been testing it again with the 5B. But the setups looking extremely slick here. And the super this time should take it. Froyo looking to potentially return it back to 5-5 as quick as we were able to build the leading point for Maunuri. The bad love. Nice. So the deflect shield here, basically nullifying any sort of high-low mix-up potential afterwards. I think, wait, can you play Mad Love into low can be played airtight, so there is no deflect shielding between those. Ooh, how did that whiff? That went basically straight through Froyo. The up dog somehow ends up completely airballing. And after the DP, the momentum shifts on Froyo's side. Able to procure the round and put it once again to a completely even situation. Heading into the endgame matches, 2 more to go. They've been going basically back-to-back since the start of the set. Or rather, after the initial lead that Maunuri was able to build was neutralized. Plus frames out of spiral arrow, plus frames again. Those are kind of reaction checks. A little bit of, like, at the same time, knowledge and reaction check. If you know what to look for and if you are ready to look for it, you could potentially go for a reaction 6B in those pressure sequences. But there's so much more that you're looking to block against Giovanna, such as what Maunuri just presented here with the backdash BRC. Can go high, can go low, basically can't see what's gonna happen afterwards. The reward's not necessarily the highest out of the bunch, but if you're looking for a very tricky kind of gimmick to close out the round with, then stuff like this, where you spend meter for an impossible to see mix-ups, those could be pretty good for you. Misses the throw here. I reckon maybe a couple of pixels too far away. The timing, of course, matters a lot, because you are that step dash character that can sort of slide forward depending on the timing you cancel into your next move. Calls out the deflect shield by not doing anything here and looking for one more mix. YRC, get me out of this mixer. Lands into 2P, frame trap into updog. We have rewards in the corner. Drop him before the wall is broken. I like this from Maunuri because he's not quite at the 50 tension mark yet. Until we are ready to get the wall splash with the super. Patient play here. if Maunuri basically completely committed to the combo that he was able to score earlier, that would have been a soft wall break, basically allowing Froyo to go back to neutral. So this was basically the textbook decision making here. Long-time Guilty Gear players, Guilty Gear veterans such as Maunuri, in terms of like at least strive, know and will go for, you know, plays like this. Oh, down by the up duck here. Stroke the big tree, diving under, putting Maunuri in the corner. Just did not spend RC this time to extend the pressure. So that tension is going to be same for a rainy day. Backdash out of the throw once again. Great read, spends it here. However, a little bit of an oopsie whoopsie on the combo choice once again. Maunuri gets out of the gel this time, but not for long. For Froyo has found another interception. Another super important round here. Froyo, of course, would love to take this to bring it 6-6 again. But Maunuri potentially looking to take an early round win. If we find a 6P into the corner, goes for the shimmy again. Froyo doesn't bite. Dives out of there. And with a tight setup again, the overhead comes basically risk-free. As long as it's well placed. Ooh, just a tap on the 6P. Sorry, 6-6 into land 5P. Taking Maunuri out of the sky. And into the delayed overhead using jump D from Ino. It's down to the wire. Once again, will Froyo kill another Finnish player in cold blood? Or will Maunuri put an end to the curse of the hunt? The honor of everybody, every one of the Finnish players who came before Maunuri is on the line here as Froyo is up on the resources on the very last round of this set. Or sorry, game of this set, rather. The horizontal dive, it's super tricky when you're moving backwards and kind of inviting them into you and then just canceling, boom, out of nowhere into the dive. Had frames to go airborne there, so the overhead mix-up from Ino not quite hitting as well as the doctor ordered. Looking for a way out, trying to get those jumps. But no way! No way, are you kidding me? Is it just on my end? Servers? My fault? Oh, come on. I think I mean, everybody's gonna disconnect from the lobby because I got thrown out. Game disconnected on my end, says players as well. Man, that is really unfortunate. Let me see, can I still host a room?
Welcome.
OBS is not showing dropped frames on my end, so I'm leaning towards maybe this is a server issue. Could be an issue on my side as well. It's basically the most unfortunate timing for that. Well, I guess we'll have to go back to the drawing board from a 6-6 then, huh? I can't even remember, like the pace of the match was so high tempo. I can't even remember who was winning at that time. The only thing I can remember is that Maunuri did lose the burst very early into the game. And then there was happenings, as we say. A lot of happenings. But back into it we go. Ice has been applied. Hopefully that doesn't kill the stride of the players. Have to reset it inside your head and go back to the one more to win the set. Who's gonna kill who? All right, let's run it again. Run it back. And a small kiss there on the stroke, the big tree, but ooh, okay. Drifting backwards with the new ability to maneuver around with Chemical Love, dodging the burst completely. Maunuri was trying to aim for the gold burst there. Plus frames on the spiral arrow, use it to take both players a lot of resources to potentially reversal out of it, but I think on a soft character like Ino, this is gonna be enough. Maunuri goes up one round. Set point. Froyo with a lot of burst resources to start this round though. Any hit could be potentially converted into a wild assault if you're ready to go. Speaking of which, speaking of the witch. The legend of the guitar witch pushing Maunuri through the wall. Positive bonus, not only lots of resources coming in, but also all subsequent hits are gonna be hitting so much harder. Oh, I think you can't cancel it here. Yeah, Froyo forced to take the reversal super. Life situation rather even, although Froyo does have that freshly built bar of tension. And just like that, puts Maunuri through the wall. And it's all the way down to last round of the set. Both players with full bursts. Maunuri goes for a very early one. There we go with the reaction 6P. Finally calling out those pesky little neutral skips from downtown. Able to get the super in there as well. Froyo in such a good position. Has a full burst as well. Deflect shield is basically the only resource Maunuri could use. Utilizes it, pushes the witch back, but it's not enough. Froyo drives in like a freight train. The ultimate Finnish slayer. Nobody from Finland able to take down this Ino player. Keeps slaying player after player, and there seems to be no end in sight. That was really close though. That was extremely close. Man, that's basically the first time in the set that Froyo was on the winning side of end of the scales as well. It was always Maunuri at least one step ahead in terms of score and what have you. But at the very last moment, from the 6-6, I mean, Maunuri even had the round advantage there at the very end game, or the last game. Holy moly. Can't make this shit up. Next one is gonna be a big body battle here, as the grandfather of big body is himself, ZoKHiZ, enters the fray to take on davopotato. Big damage, big reach, even for somebody like Potemkin. And this is kind of a rare opportunity of a matchup for Nagoriyuki. Once you, like in a lot of different matches where you can potentially get zoned because of your limited mobility, if you go really high on blood, many characters in this game can kind of take an advantage of that and space you out, choose the spacings where they want to play RPS against you, where they want to play footsies against you. So even if you have that extremely high or far range 5 heavy empowered by the level 3 blood, you can't necessarily just swing that just like that, because it's quite prone to getting whiff punished, jumped over, stuff like that. But against the Potemkin, who like usually wants to fight very close range as well, the dynamic could be a little different. It's definitely a very interesting matchup. Bloodburn out of the corner, definitely worth the cost. Well, you don't want to be locked close and personal with this public enemy number 1. ZoKHiZ finding time after time, taking the opponent out of the sky. Both players go for the throw and swinging a miss. Why though? Why? That was really close. Both of these characters, mind you, have an extended throw range. Basically, the quotations grappler throw range, which is slightly extended compared to many other characters. 5 heavy counter hit. Really good hit confirm into the hammer fall. Go for it again. Check if the opponent trying to do something. Oh, big commit, however. Davo with the reaction speed here. Using the red RC to create an extra hit, breaking ZoKHiZ's armor. And then goes for the DP for an extra hit there at the end to break the last hit point out of the HP bar. Engagement. Use engagement. And then the counter hit Beyblade. One of the more comfy starters, definitely. Oh, ZoKHiZ with the good timing there on the break. Recognizes that Davo is gonna go into a lot of recovery there. After the 5 heavy getting armored. The DP again, lots of blood burn, finds the hit, and goes into the jump D-loop. Oh. Wait, how is Davo so low on blood still? I thought I saw so many blood burners there, yet somehow Davo's still under 50 blood. It is impeccable math and blood management. Could basically spend a couple of bars here to force a samurai mix or adjacent techs. Davo. Wow.
Mankind knew that they
It's like I thought I was counting like 5 or 4 special moves, and still such a low such a low blood kind of situation. Oh, okay, finding the buster. No burning blood through this one. And now Davo is gonna suffer the consequences of having a couple of blood bars. 3 in a row. Jeez, ZoKHiZ, how does your mom let you have 3 busters? How did you build so much respect already? Just a quick go under, 4th buster. The saga continues. I bet ZoKHiZ tried to buster again, but got a back Mega Fist, the most classic input of any Potemkin players. The other one being the 6P whip. Ooh, look at that. He's so ready with the RC. But I mean, in that kind of situation, what else would you ever be thinking? Full screen, you swing one of your slowest recovery moves, you have 50. If Potemkin comes at you, if Potemkin slides into you, there is no other explanation, but they've been armoring some shit. So press that RC, win the interaction, use the tension advantage, which is also important in Guilty Gear games. Nice combo into the corner. Oh, yeah, you're gonna burst that as fast as possible. Forcing more pressure with the RC. Both players, or rather ZoKHiZ, is gonna be quite dry here, but able to extend the pressure into... Oh, nice! Timing on the break again! And this time Davo, unfortunately, does not have the tension. That's basically a textbook example or showcase of how important in this matchup it is for you to have meter. Be it like, it doesn't matter if you're playing Potemkin, it doesn't matter if you're playing Potemkin's opponent, it's so important. You poke into the armor, don't have RC, you're easily done for from that point on. Burst from ZoKHiZ once again immediately as the hit registers. Oh, got them on the landing. A lot of blood to spend here still. Davo staying relatively patient. Again, the delayed bar/slash sequence catching ZoKHiZ. Not the biggest amount of damage, but this will lead into good things. Waiting for potentially a reversal from ZoKHiZ. But the safest play usually is just block and wait for a move from your opponent. Minus on the forward Mega Fist. Not quite in a range where you could get a punish, I think. Was quite well spaced. Able to flip the positions around. ZoKHiZ fighting out of the corner with the double jump. Yep, missing a 5 heavy there. Has consequences, puts you in a lot of recovery. But Davo playing, look at the spacing that Davo is playing. All those back steps that he has been taking, basically making sure that even if ZoKHiZ does get a jump forward, ZoKHiZ doesn't land. Oh no! Oh wait, interesting. So didn't follow through with the clone, or rather didn't follow through with the Fukio after the clone. So didn't get grabbed there either. If what I saw correctly. Oh, nice delayed 2S into a jungle, into a Gigantor. That should be a kill. One of the best ways for Potemkin to go into like huge, massive, painful combos on most situations. If you have the 50, if you have a good starter, Gigantor is one of your best buddies to convert into. Once again, hopping over those grounded pokes from Nagoriyuki. Ooh, just a bare miss there on the too heavy. However, Potemkin being such a slow character can't quite get a reaction with punish. Both players spending all the resources in order to try to get out of each other's pressures. Google burst, not quite punishable, but that burst resource ain't gonna come back before the fat lady sings here. Ooh, into. Yo, ZoKHiZ, are you for real? However, not quite at the close slash distance. Gets a far slash, which is way too slow to catch a punish on the blood pop. The blood pop is like what? It's at least -7. I forgot if it's more. So in that situation, what buttons Potemkin does even have? Is Potemkin's 2K? It's not even 7 frames, is it? What do you even press from that distance? The classic far slash into a bite. And now party's only getting started, getting a clean counter hit from the DP, and we can burn so much blood. However, even if we could, Davo, I think, represents the school of Nagoriyuki where you're not necessarily forcing like maximum amount of damage from every single interaction, more about thinking about the future. What am I gonna do after this conversion? Maybe I can put you so low that I don't necessarily need to convert, like, don't need to put all of my blood into this particular conversion, but instead the next one. Pretty great stacker here. Travels a little bit too close. Here comes the grappler back turn. Not the back turn, but the back throw. Ooh, back dash. Can't find a target with the 6P that time around. Straight on the round starts. Okay, it's going straight into the, whatchamacallit, the crown pound. Slide head, that's it. As we call in the industry. Playing, oh my god, 6 heavy footsies on Potemkin? More likely than anything in the timing! Timing on the break! Once again, ZoKHiZ has that timing down. The 6P, I think... Wait, good FD cancel. That's so smart. I bet the farm there, I'm pretty sure I saw a 6P startup, but it must have been on the first like active frame, allowing ZoKHiZ to FD cancel still. Deflect shield does get value. Oh, but again, look at this. ZoKHiZ powering through all of those 5 heavies. This must be a conscious strategy here. Waiting for Davo to land, utilizing basically the trusting that the opponent ain't gonna do anything crazy here. But I mean, it makes sense. Davo took a hit airborne or took a block airborne, which means that you are basically forced to land into lots and lots of landing recovery. Try to go for a round start, slide head right off the bat, getting DP'd for good measure here by Davo. The challenge, 5P doesn't quite manage to get a combo out of that, but putting the opponent into really high blood situation before you get pushed into the corner, hopefully, would be a really good thing to have. Nice, ZoKHiZ with the patience here, blocks on the landing as they will once again try to go for that Beyblade anti-air, quotations anti-air there on the landing. Bite, another one. Okay, we have blood for days, for sure. We're gonna go for another one. Another one! Fourth one! Wait, was that the fourth one? Davo taking the lead here on the Buster count. 4 in a row. Damn. You had to go and one up the master, huh? The downside is though, like if you do bite somebody with basically like an empty blood gauge, it's often not necessarily worth the risk because it only gets you so much reward in damage. It does empty your blood bar, so like it's one of the best things you could ever land as a Nagoriyuki if your blood bar is really high. But I mean, I guess that's subverting your opponent's expectations. They're probably gonna be like, okay, if you bite, it's kind of like whatever, because your reward ain't gonna be very high. Whereas you can't really go for the same kind of logic and reasoning against Potemkin. If you take 2 busters in a row, you're just straight up dead. Oh, speaking of the buster, finding the timing there between Davo's string. Oh, and the delayed 2S again, catching the backdash. Those timings are immaculate. ZoKHiZ understanding the game. You're in the hood and you understand the game. It's always about timing, not necessarily what you're pressing, but when you're pressing. All right, the -2 here. Still a very good position for Davo, as there is nowhere to run for ZoKHiZ. However, able to build enough distance that ZoKHiZ felt comfortable enough going for that slide head. The slide head does have a little bit of low profiling frames as far as I know. RC into a bite again. Oh, now we're burning. Now we're burning. Finds a 5B, doesn't quite manage to convert it. So ZoKHiZ is out for now. Chip kill is definitely on the menu, yeah. Tried to power through with the armor. But unfortunately, Potemkin is a character who ends up taking some, if not all, of the damage that you armor through usually. That's why we are the highest EHP character in the game, because you honestly need to do stuff like that from time to time. Oh, look at the weight again! Was on the hunt for a too heavy counter hit, no doubt. Davo did not press a button there, though. Extending the pressure. Not in the bite this time around, though. ZoKHiZ on the... Oh my god, the back jump! Reaching still. Nifty little conversion through the wall. ZoKHiZ definitely has the resource advantage for now. But Davo, on that positive bonus, might build enough to kill here. No OTG, no nothing. However, perfect distance. Tap the DP1, DP2, and then opponent dead. Dead. 4-2. They were working with a comfortable lead for now. With style of Nagoriyuki that you don't tend to see very often. It's such a cool amount of, like, it's a very particular type of patience that Davo is sort of displaying. A lot of different kinds of kinds of strings as well, like stagger pressure you don't see very often, and like I can't really tell in a particular pressure situation, like almost ever, what Davo wants to go for. That's a really scary type of player to play against. ZoKHiZ able to dominate the left corner that round, though. With the blood burner. Tried to fix the situation with the sneaky bite. 6 heavy as an anti-air. We definitely take a big reward and slams the opponent down to the ground. ZoKHiZ on the hunt, though. The blood is slowly ticking down, or maybe up, depending on your point of view. With the 2K stagger string once again, finds the hit, finds the knockdown. Small little steps towards the victory. This is kind of, I think, probably because of the sort of the nature of the matchup you have to play against Potemkin. If you overextend too much, speaking of overextending, one backdash into Buster, switch sides as well. Is Davo gonna burst? Holding on to it for now, but eventually you will find yourself in a position where it has to be done. The timing is cool. Look at it, the vacuum burst into corner. Perfect timing into just a safe little string here. Davo saves it. but it does not come for free. Now ZoKHiZ has the advantage of basically being full burst, while Davo has none left to spend. Okay, the Glow Slash does vacuum ZoKHiZ out of the corner for now. And with the signature jump pressure, Potemkin has a very... Oh, there's the RC! I was about to say, is it gonna come out? Is it gonna come out? Yes, indeed! Finds the overhead with the second hit of the DP. ZoKHiZ powers through, but this is gonna be a long, rocky road. This is just a small conversion that you just spent spent most of your attention in. I didn't quite even manage to corner the opponent. So Davo patiently, once again, waiting for their turn, finding the Abare, and killing the opponent of that. Yo, the patience there. ZoKHiZ just not even taking a step backwards. But sometimes you can't when you're playing against characters like Nagoriyuki. I mean, I guess that's not true anymore necessarily. You still have 2S, but Beyblade is no longer a low. So you can slightly with a little bit more confidence walk backwards in these like round start and footsie situations. Yeah, the burst comes out for Davo as well. Oh, finds the whip punish on the too heavy. It's kind of like one of the deep whip punishes that you can actually go for if a Nagoriyuki whips a heavy button long string. Or sorry, full screen. Lots of resources coming in for both players. Davo's blood coming down, but ZoKHiz's meter also increasing. Won't be able to use it on the round number 1. Yeah, okay. In this game, like when you break out of Hammerfall, oh, speaking of, when you break out of Hammerfall, like the breaking animation takes so many more frames than previous games. So it's not necessarily as nasty of a pressure trick as it is in some of the earlier installments. Powers through once again. Yep, Davo didn't have the meter this time. Ooh, nice jump over. So the 2-bar blood burn completely nullified right off the bat by ZoKHiZ. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks good when you manage to read the touch on the armor on 5 heavy, but if the opponent does not hit a button like that, you gotta be really careful if you can actually, you know, afford to continue your pressure. You are quite minus out of that, frankly. And at that point, it's like, is your opponent ready to react? Do they wanna press a button? Oh, that 5 heavy is so tiny with just 1 level of blood. Grows massively in size though as we draw towards the zenith. And ZoKHiZ unfortunately ain't gonna have anything to say about this combo. Davo, lots of momentum. Driving over our Potemkin hero here. Can we break out of this spiral that Davo has put ZoKHiZ in? A very early bite once again. That's like one of the... Oh, there we go. Good timing there. Able to get a hit on the heavy buttons. It's like basically, it doesn't matter if it's 2 heavy, if it's 5 heavy. As long as you touch the armor, should be quite a comfortable Hammerfall break. But now Davo has the meter, so ZoKHiZ can't really justify just blindly going in with the Hammerfall anymore. Ooh, he's gonna maybe catch it, committed to the Buster. However, one who has the meter at the end is the king, as we say, and Davo had one more say over ZoKHiz's commitment. Frame trap into the stagger 6K. Tries to go for it again. Ooh, a little bit too early there. Was maybe expecting a counter hit. There we go, with punish on the 5 heavy. You shall not escape those buttons. Or get away with those buttons with too much. Oh, Dave was so good with the spacing. The jump, too heavy, does land ZoKHiZ here. And now more pressure finds the close slash from a Fukyo. ZoKHiZ trying to jump out, or was that backdash? I don't know. But clean and surgical Nagoriyuki play, a style that you don't tend to see very often, and it works so well, especially in this matchup. Having patience in the Potemkin matchup is probably the best thing you could ever have. Especially if you're a character that can hold space against Potemkin. Like sometimes you can't really choose if you're a character who just has to rush down, then it's kind of like, I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to take a risk. But Davo playing just the perfect kind of spacing, not letting ZoKHiZ have like any effective jump in RPS, very rarely getting an opportunity to play the sort of the hammerfall RPS without Davo having the 50 meter to then basically double up and play the RC and break ZoKHiZ out of his armor. Alright, high level match after high level match. Next one is gonna be Ruby versus Crayon. Interestingly enough, I think this is, if we look at just raw, raw ranking mode numbers, Ruby's surprisingly high on the Elfel at the moment. So this could, in one way or another, be the top the top seed of the week, if you will. I think it's been a while since we've seen Ruby on the Elfelt. We've seen Ruby's May here and there, but the main character hasn't been brought out of the shed in a long while, if memory serves. And the opponent is going to be playing Bedman tonight. An interesting matchup. I think, who was it? We've had quite a bit of Elfelt versus Bedman as of recent, but none of those matches were played by Ruby, I think. He's certainly a matchup with sort of matchup with unusual kind of movement tools. I mean, Elfelt can definitely play the standard footsies. She has pretty fast acceleration on her dash, or is it the acceleration or just the sort of the top speed of the dash? But she's pretty good at moving around. But on top of that, of course, a lot of different tools that will move you to all sorts of different directions. Of course, the most common being the Pineberry. You could use her Lariat, the Sprital Express from older games to plummet yourself forward. You can use Rekka to move forward. You can stall your air momentum using fireballs. There's a lot of different ways that you can move on Elfelt other than just moving forward. But same can be said for Bedman. Bedman is kind of the strange movement option character, other than maybe Ino. You have that, basically the 8-way air dash, which can be initiated from any jump, makes Bedman basically halt their momentum in the air, starting hover, and from that position you can hold the hover for a while, or choose to go basically any direction from there. That kind of tool can create a lot of like jump in RPS, very unusual jump in RPS, especially since you can jump cancel a lot of your stuff and then come down with really swift, good buttons. The kind of RPS that we've been played since Exert on this character. And then your opponent's job is to try to not only guess like what angle you're gonna come from, but also the timing. And sometimes even something simple as like just immediate hop into hover into diving into the opponent can be really hard to react to. Because you would probably usually have to react to the opponent taking air. So as soon as you see the bedman jump, you might have to rev up your 6p already in order to have it out in time. But if the opponent doesn't commit to the air option, just keeps hovering there, you're gonna basically miss 6p into nothing. Although Elfelt is a character who has rather decently sized 6p, I have to say. It reaches pretty good angle, pretty good direction. So definitely a trump card against characters like, or a character like Bedman. Do we have a Crayon though? We have some options that could be played before this match if we don't currently have Crayon ready to go. Wake up, now is not the time for Terraria. Let's see, so if not that matchup, we could also try to play we could maybe play, let's ask if Yappie and Spooky are ready already. It would be a fairly long match, as it is a random select match, so gonna take a slightly longer than your standard match. Yeah, even if we don't have Crayon at this very moment, there is still a chance that they are gonna show up later, so we could stall this particular matchup just a little bit and hope that we get to play it later down the line. Yappie is ready, but Spooky probably not so. You could ask one of the... What I'm thinking about, because next on the line are the American players, which I usually want to buy as much time as possible, because it is quite early in the land of the free at the moment. I mean, if nothing else, we could play. Wait, did Civ have a request to play later? I forgot. Let me check. Yeah, that was the deal. Oh, Civ is available. So yeah, we could play the Civ versus Puuro right now as well, I suppose. Sorry about this. There's a lot of stuff to go through because a lot of the pairs have some sort of some sort of whatchamacallit. Okay, I think we've reached a verdict here, and we can indeed play Civ versus Puuro. So that'll be the pair that is available for now. Is okay. Everything's okay. Breathe deeply. It's all under control. So this would be the, yeah, I guess like other than the Ruby versus Crayon match, this would be like basically the 4 highest skill tier matches of the evening, played basically back to back. So a Slayer mirror, huh? Puuro, of course, has been basically a Slayer aficionado all the way through since this character was released. Basically, I think as far as I've understood, always plays sort of characters like this in fighting games when possible. I think it's the sort of the sway, the kind of like the boxer sway kind of feeling that Puuro is usually looking for. And even though, you know, Slayer ain't exactly a boxer character, there is a little bit of that OG kind of back and forth on this character, on a very horizontal layer that Slayer is playing. On the other hand, Civ, this is one of her stronger characters, one of the characters that she has been playing the most recently, for sure. Unsure which one of her characters is the strongest at the moment. Has quite a few characters on Vanquisher tier at the moment. It's gonna be quite of a punch fest. I don't think we've seen too many Slayer mirrors over the course of Bounty Hunters. And let's see, what is the color? Is it the black color or the dark color that Puuro is playing? We're gonna have to see once we go into the match. I can fix the colors in the names in post-production. Well, yeah, definitely big bang punching here. Let's see how it's gonna be. Lots of rewards. Very different kind of neutral for sure. Yeah, Puuro is the black one. And then Civ is a really cool color. What is this? Let's call it... Is it pink? I think it's pink enough. Alright, a little bit too close here. The Mappa punches usually want to space as well as possible, be it the P or the K version. In fact, that tends to be one of your best ways to get things started. If you get the P Mappa punch from like around this distance. But of course, if it rings true as a counter hit, Mappa counter, lots of corner carry potential for Slayer. Didn't quite have the meter to break the wall with the super, so life situation equalized. Is this a super? Civ recognizes that. It's gonna be punished, even though it cleaves through and pushes you quite far away. We'll try to jump in with the jump slash. Here comes the corner pressure with Civ. Finds a successful hit with the 2 heavy. Not quite the counter hit though. The counter hit 2 heavy is the sort of the holy grail that you're usually looking for. Can be hit confirmed on the normal hit though as well. Is definitely possible. But requires a little bit of whatchamacallit, paying attention to what is happening for sure. Oh, that's really unfortunate. I think Puuro had slightly different or slightly wrong key bindings. So hopping back out of the lobby to fix that conundrum. I can't get those hard Slayer combos in unless you have the right buttons assigned. They're already hard enough as they are, especially the whatchamacallit, the rear hitting loops.
Mankind.
Or whatever the community calls them at this current point. Ooh, both starting with momentum forward of the special moves. Puuro is the one to find the hit first, able to nullify the counter hit buff there that you do get from landing your blood-sucking universe on this Nightless character. Ooh, interesting combo route. Able to get the back hit there. Into wall break, lots of damage. Those are the kind of routes that you want to try to get as often as possible. Is the back hitting pile bunkers, which will usually bring the bread home. Nice, able to end the sequence and get the super at the end there as well. Yeah, I would say this is definitely a mirror match where the amount of hits per round is generally gonna be slightly lower than maybe some others. That was an instant wall break there, or wall stick rather. Slightly unfortunate because it was a forced counter hit from that universe. I think it's even like with the universe buff, you get even more damage or like that extra damage modifier of sorts compared to just getting a normal counter hit. Ooh, okay, intercepting the Master's Hammer with the jump slash. And now how we're pressuring it. Nice delay there with the far slash. Not quite able to get the counter hit, which would be much easier to hit confirm. The super delayed PRC command grab from a pile bunker. Civ having none of that though. Finds a hit with the 2 heavy and hit confirms as well. It's so cool when you get the hit confirm on the non-counter hits. Tries to double it up. Maybe thought that the extra pile bunker would be enough, but it wasn't. It wasn't. And now from the universe counter hit, is it actually Puuro who's gonna take it? Not quite. Doesn't have the 50. Can't finish it up. 2 heavy. Oh my god, what's happening here? What happening here? Both players went for the dandy step, but only one Slayer coming out of that alive. Although that is also subject to your point of view. I guess Slayer not really exactly alive if because of the lore concerns. Ooh, that's not a great trade for Puuro, unfortunately. 6B, yep, that's one of the options that you can use if the opponent Slayer player uses their Mappa Hunch from a very far away distance. Gets a little bit more reactable going for the 6B. And of course the Mappa Hunches will also, or rather always lose to an active 6B. But often enough from closer ranges, it's not really feasible to reaction 6P. You might have to send it if you want to just guarantee going under it. But the RC should be a kill, yes indeed, able to get the juggle under control. Oh, that was a huge gap there. Plus basically a million from the Master's Hammer, but Civ waiting for her turn. Waiting maybe slightly a little too much. Puuro getting an abare out of that situation. And now, oh my god, that was so brilliant! Moving, that might have actually been a cross-up. I'm not sure if Civ was actually hitting a button there, but the 6 heavy does move Slayer around a little bit. So I'm not unsure what side the 6 heavy ended up landing from. Speaking of which side here, the classic 6-6 gaming can be hard on your arcade stick or whatever left-right device you're playing with. Because you can get crossed up on a moment's notice by things like the P dandy step, but also just the forward dash of Slayers. Civ with a lot of momentum. The matches are as blazing fast as you would think that a mirror match of these characters would basically end up revolving. Oh, we're chasing that hard time. Mappa hunch. Catching them with a counter hit, so that means a nifty little mirrorless pickup into a super wall break. We're able to cut the momentum here with the gold burst. That is basically 100 resources that once again won't be utilized, unfortunately. Civ has been just way too good of a sniper from the neutral game, always finding a way in, always finding a way to basically bulldoze through anything that Puuro is trying to do. And again, with the big hard read pile bunker, or maybe not as hard of a read as you could have if you have 50 meters to spend. Pile bunker is usually considered one of the sort of forward. Oh, was maybe baiting for that, but didn't see the burst initially, so chose to just pick up the pressure string again. Nevertheless, Civ with a clean 4-0. Oh, this is a fast. This could be a fast one. This could potentially be one of the fastest bounty hunter sets ever if Civ manages to maintain the momentum. There we go with the whip punish. Much chance with the pressure in the corner. Oh, drops the link into close slash there. But able to secure it back. Lots of damage. And a hard knockdown as well. With the jump kick, catching the backdash. Smooth movement. Could even say dandy in certain circles. Ooh, a trade. I think Slayer has one of the same kind of annoying feature as the other Knightless Nagoriyuki. If you use your forward moving special moves and the opponent doesn't initially tag you out of that movement, he recovers really fast, and when you recover under your opponent, you are one of the best close slash anti-air characters in the game. Speaking of anti-airs that are very damaging, you also have that. To the other side. Wow, the 2P actually ended up catching the Master's Hammer before it rang on the ground. Ooh, jumping out of Puuro's Master's Hammer as well. Close slash, speaking of, there we go. What the best? Oh my goodness, you would throw that. You would throw that, huh? Very delayed, late RC into, oh my god. With the universe buff, we get a big counter hit from It's Late. To the other side. Yeah, this time though, Jump K from Slayer though has a little bit of a cross-up hitbox, which ends up playing in Puuro's favor this time. I think Civ tried to anti-air immediately after getting out of the pile, or sorry, the Mappa hunch. Aggressive burst, Puuro fighting out of the corner immediately. 6P, switch sides into P, dandy step, and break the wall. Ooh, dash through into the command grab. Misses the finisher. It's okay. We're in such a huge life lead here that even if Sim manages to break out of the corner, it would be kind of difficult. Or would it? Is it like? Maybe it's not safe to say that. Like maybe the life bars really are just a cosmetic kind of a thing in this kind of matchups where one hit can basically lead into a. One hit can lead into 2 hits, and 2 hits is what this character does, basically. Oh, nice whiff punish there with the 2D. It's so strange how the neutral is played between these two characters. It's a little easier to understand when it's a Slayer and a standard character. At least then only one of the characters has this very strange horizontal trajectory that they have to abide by. But when both characters are extremely mobile on the X-axis, it can be a little disorientating sometimes. Right, clean B&B conversion into a wall break, into a hard knockdown. Puuro has a lot of resources though, so we're definitely not out of options. Although, Slayer is one of those characters who are kind of, quotations, bad on defense. Because you don't have a DP and you don't have a reversal super either. Is Will Miff? Will Miff? Will Whiff? Good wall we go again. Civ is building dangerously high amount of resources, however gets mixed by the 6-6. Very close to a burst. Would Civ burst? It would indeed go for the burst. Life situation equalized. It's okay. Civ, like, if you get the successful burst here, and I mean, Slayer is one of those characters who moves forward during his combo so much, so bursting can vacuum the opponent into the corner with a decently high success rate, so that the burst was kind of risky but made a lot of sense at the same time. Oh, but Puuro strikes back really fast. So fast, in fact, that only half of the burst that Civ spent that first round was gonna come, was built back during the exchange. Oh, that's a counter hit far slash though. We can go into a quick 1-2-3 sequence. Nothing fancy. Just doing my medium damage combos here that could still take half of your life away. Oh, Puuro converting into the big one. Full loops. Civ definitely a believer in the combo execution of Puuro. Bursts out of the combo and steals the round. Whew.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, into the Master's Hammer. Definitely worth a burst here. Civ goes for one of her own as well. And then the X-axis neutral. Back and forth. In this position though, oh, that was a late FRC once again. But these, I think these late RCs after pile bunkers have been, in fact, so late from both players that the opponent has usually been able to either mash or escape against them. Oh, the slowdown frame still active, so Civ giving an opportunity to snipe with the far slash. Oh, that's a counter hit. Launch into a very decent combo. Yeah, once again keeping the combo as basically simple as possible. But man, the Slayer have very damaging combos. Baits the burst as well. Good timing to spend the RC.
Perfect.
Drain it all out of the opponent. It's been like, what, 5 minutes or a little bit more, and we've already arrived to this point. Speed running it. Oh, but wait a second, Puuro getting a very strategical counter hit right from the round start. Civ fighting out of the corner though. The blue Wild Assault just a little bit too short. Hammering it down with a normal hit. Can't quite get a whole lot of damage out of that, but you know, a knockdown is a knockdown. Ooh, great pickup there from the jump K. That was a really high altitude jump K as well. I think both players tried to go for the same, basically the same maneuver. Couldn't quite swap sides with the the back hitting bile, or couldn't go into the back hitting bile bunker there. It's okay. We bring the opponent into the corner again. And set point Civ. Full starting resources. Ooh, nice leap over the 2D. Puuro from the pressure extending, wild assault. Going into bite buff. Negated though. Civ finds the hit. And now with the cross up and a quick wall break, or a wall slump rather. It could be one hit away. Puuro has to burst that. That was gonna be the kill. Can we throw? Yes, indeed. And then the mix up to the other side. Good gold burst. No, Civ is gonna build so many resources. Doesn't even need any of that for this character. Hits like a truck. Running the set exactly with the kind of gusto, the kind of style that we often see Civ talk about on the Discord side. The car crash kind of gameplay that she ain't even ashamed to admit. That is very archetypical type of way to play the game for Slayer, and oh, it works out so well. 7-2 here in the Slayer mirror. All right, what can we play next is the question, though. I assume since we didn't have a response from Crayon. But we do have Spooky ready, so I think we're gonna jump into the slot number 4 then. Alright, so this would be, as it's often the case with Spooky Boy, it's gonna be a random select match once again. This is a match that Spooky did pick up on a short notice, for Yappie's initial opponent had to drop out, and we had to think of our alternatives. Let me pull out my rolling interface. I think I fixed the... yeah, I'm pretty sure I fixed the right list here. And Spooky does confirm the list is still the same. Let me ask one more thing. With or without duplicates? Which basically means there's two different ways to play the random select. It's either once you get randomed a character, that character gets removed from the pool, so you don't random into the same character twice in a row. No repeats. Okay, so duplicates are gonna be removed. So we spin the wheel and pick the first character for Spooky. It is gonna be Ino. And on the screen for the rolling interface, we have also the sort of the personal power tiers for Spooky. And for example, in this game, rolling into Ino, you can see that Ino is located in the good tier. And you can sort of utilize this information to try to figure out if the sort of roll of the dice was, or like what kind of scenario it's gonna be for the randoming player. Of course, we're gonna have to take into consideration that I think on average, I would probably not set this match up unless it was an emergency. So Yappie is definitely the sort of the, or rather Spooky is gonna be the underdog going into this matchup. But let's see how it's gonna go. First one here. I forgot to put it on the rematch lobby, but we can fix that on. We can fix that after the initial game. So Yappie with the signature testament, of course. Has been basically playing through the whole bounty hunters run so far with pretty good consistency as well. Has taken down a couple of decently strong players already. And is definitely a aficionado of the possession kind, so Yappie does play the teleport RPS a lot. Ooh, the frame trap into 5 heavy here. Try the anti with the far slash, or sorry, the close slash, doesn't quite find the mark. There is a lot of zoning potential in this character, or on this character. Ooh, that's a perfect RPS here. So the Crow ends up being very vulnerable against stuff that low profiles. So especially in like close mid-range situations where you connect the S Grave Reaper on the with the opponent and would usually want to go for the Crow afterwards to curse them. It can be difficult to force, or basically impossible to force your opponent into that scenario, because they can try to dash at you, go for like buttons such as 2K, to try to low profile the Crow that is usually sent from a very high angle, around where the Crow is currently roosting. Yep, he takes the first one. Let's sequence this. Let me actually first fix the rematch off. And then let's roll another character for Spooky. Next one will be Zato. Which, yeah, Zato, one of those technical characters that tends to be on the bottom side of many players' lists. Especially if you enjoy standard characters. Puppet characters like Zato are generally the most avoided characters. Although Zato is kind of a cool character in Strive and not necessarily as difficult to control as maybe some, well, previous iterations Zatos for sure, but definitely not the easy character, like not an easy character to play by any means. And even though it might be slightly easier to control Zato himself, it's like the margin for error for Guilty Gear Strive is fairly thin, because many characters hit super hard in this game, so it's maybe slightly easier to control character, but harder in some other aspects of the game, if you will. A bit of a far slash there from the round start, but again, controlling the puppet is difficult, so there is a choice. Am I gonna play with the puppet or without the puppet is often sort of a choice that you have to make here. If you do get an unlucky random into Zato, while basically having no good experience on him. Oh, going for a fancy little combo, spending 100 into a super. All right. Yeah, but with the strong start, I would imagine that Spooky absolutely desperately needs the higher end of the scale characters to be able to comfortably match against Yappie. And I think Axel, yeah, Axel is fairly high up there, so in the great category, this would be probably the first realistic jab at the Testament player here. very interesting matchup. Both these characters can start and will usually start from far range. But the difference is Axel can zone for this just for the sake of zoning, whereas Testament tends to want to flow into pressure, like close range pressure, the sort of curse pop pressure, eventually. So even though your initial plan might be to throw fireballs at range, you would really love to get into close range pressure eventually. And even more so because of the aforementioned fact that Axel is basically the de facto zoner of the Guilty Gear franchise, so you can't really operate against this character from far away very well. I mean, you have, like, if you are full screen distance, yeah, you have tools like Arbiter Sign. You can try to lower Arbiter if the Axel player whips one of their buttons, which could happen if you're like absolute full screen distance. I think not even Rensen can reach like absolute full screen again for Axel. Into the upgrade Reaper, that's gonna be a big one, and confirming quickly into the super, just in case there was a little bit of, or like if there was a chance for the opponent to get their burst back. Not an option this time around though. All right, definitely a meta kind of a pick here. Chip versus a character who wants to start zoning on you. And the chip is, where is it located? Trying to find it. Can I not find chip?
Duel 1.
Huh. Wait, I couldn't find it on Spooky's list. Nevertheless, I guess the cool thing about Testament versus, or like four Testament players in this matchup is that you have a really good 2K, also called the DLC 2K in the industry. And when you're playing against a character who whiff punishes you so well, like Chip, you kind of want to play with your K buttons as much as possible. And that is absolutely possible for Testament using the 2K for those mid to close range scuffles. Although Chip, in one of the newest patches, you have, oh, that's not a safe jump. In the newest patches, you have gained basically the low crush on your 2D. So Chip has much better tools to combat against a playstyle like that from many other characters, many characters overall. Fights the high Rekka here into another one. Yeah, well, one is on block nowadays, not the best kind of situation for especially the red users. It's more like the blue Wild Assault users where the ones who have nowadays the identity to just slam that on block. Red Wild Assault users have to pay a little bit more attention because they are going to be minus and they will lose their turn on a blocked Wild Assault. Spooky looking pretty good here. Gets a successful throw, and there we go on the board. Happy to see that as well, because like if you would struggle a lot on a character that is like kind of high on your list and probably expected to do okay against the zoner like Testament, if you lose that, then that wouldn't bode too well for the rest of the set, right? Jacko, another relatively technical character. Is located where? Why am I so bad at finding characters on Spooky's list? Okay, so it's in the good tier.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Basically same power level as what we had with Ino earlier. Now Jacko is a character who you can opt to not utilize the minions or the goobers as much and can to some extent get value out of the main body like much more value out of the main body compared to, for example, Zato. So like if you can't control these kind of characters that control multiple entities at once, then I guess Jacko would be the safer pick for you for sure. Jacko has just all-around really great normals. I guess the only problem is their range. Although, if you're slamming them with a 2D... Oh, is this gonna connect, actually? No, a little bit too far away. And tries to save himself as well with the PRC, or the FRC PRC there. Unfortunately, all of that meter ends up being for naught. Starting with the 2D, and despite... or I guess... the 2D is pretty good on block against especially non-DP characters, because you are always in a really sort of dominant RPS from Jacko's point of view, because you can't be DP'd out of your cancels. So doing something like a 2D into a soccer kick, fairly safe. Setting a couple of Arbiter signs, the high Arbiter into respect here. Ooh, can we block? Yes, indeed. And the close slash punish is inbound. Drops the combo. It's okay. We have a Gooper there. Clap your hands a couple of times and fix your problems. Good little advantage that you have on these characters. Even if you screw up your combo string, the little guy is still there to have your back. Ooh, teleports to the mid-screen. And good spacing there for Yappie for all of those fireballs. You don't want to be too close. The 2D from Jacko is kind of fast and kind of hard to challenge unless you have something that has a decent amount of disjoint. Ooh, missing with the 6 heavy. That's a critical error here. Now Spooky on the hunt with one Goober in the pocket. Able to jump and block the high Arbiter. Yappie's really close to getting a full burst as well. But now same problem for both players. If they are to receive just even one more hit, then the burst has to come out really fast. Sending the curse. Oh, yeah, the burst that. I think the curse pop would have actually killed Spooky there. The gold burst ends up missing with punish with that far slash. And it doesn't matter, even if you don't have a lot of rewards out of that as Testament without the curse. It's okay. It's okay in that life situation. Looks like Leo is the next pick, so slightly more aggressive in the great tier again, in the same tier that we had Chip. So now the pace of the match will definitely change a little bit. Leo is one of those characters who can't really hang back much, and can't exactly wait for whiff punishes again either, like against a character like Testament. So you generally want to go in fighting, you want to go close distance or at least close to mid-range and try to use some of those good normals that can reach really far away, such as 2D, bar slash, 5 heavy, and try to catch Testament pressing something. Ooh, there's the lariat. Good decision here by Yappie. Sees the throw opportunity and puts Spooky in a checkmate. It's the VP round start, however, Yappie was on a completely different layer, already disengaging from the situation. Tries to frame trap into the up fireball, plus on block, and a really good combo starter. Ooh, there we go with the whiff punish, doesn't quite follow through. I mean, you can't really follow through with a lot with Testament. Waits for the DP, DP never comes, Spooky instead presses the 2K, and now we're on the hunt. Back turn stance enabled. And disabled. Ooh, it's a counter hit. With the help of Wild Assault, we're going to the wall and breaking it. Life situation even, but now Yappie, for the moment, has a little bit more to spend. Ooh, nice air to air. Putting Yappie in the corner. Here comes the burst. Teleport into a successful 2K 2D. It's not a done deal yet. We need one more hit. Curse could be good. Instead of sending the curse, Crow uses it to teleport next to Spooky. That is a very Yappie kind of a play. I would expect Yappie to definitely go for that. Instead of playing it safe and potentially sending the Crow, teleports into the marker instead. And goes for a successful strike. Oh, this character, this Asuka character is definitely quite high in Spooky Boy's tier list. But we're basically cycling through all of the most technical characters in the game at the moment. We got Zato, we got Jacko, now we're getting, you know, we're getting that man. What next? I mean, all the super technical picks are already gone. All right, let's see what we can work with. Generally, you're probably gonna see like sub-character players of the characters working with Test Case 1 a little bit more, which has all the standard cube spells. No reason to go into like super difficult things before you have like all the basics under control. And the basics on this character are fairly strong as well. Like standard cubes are basically RPS. You have to try to challenge them on the opponent's side. Ooh, very nice prediction there on the up fireball. That's just a little bit too close. Spooky gets the throw, and we've seen a lot of random Asuka players playing with the normals, so the normals definitely are there. Not the most damaging normals, for sure. Usually have to be combined with spells to milk rewards out of those. Oh, the back cross up with the curse applied using the jump gate, the aerial taco kick, if you will. Particle Sphere, even though being super fast, does not whiff punish Yappie there. Goes for a snipe on the High Arbiter. Starting with a hand of just basic standard cubes. Two of those being green ones. The green ones tend to be like fairly good, especially when fired from like long mid-range. Very hard to RPS again, very hard to poke into. And your standard go-to RPS against the basic cubes tends to be you poke into them. I mean, that's gonna poke into it, however, a little bit too much recovery there. Goes for the 2D, goes under the 6P. Particle Sphere should be a plus situation for Spooky, especially if you spend further resources. Back throw. Now Spooky's hand is empty, and the mana bar is a little bit on the empty side as well. So if the mana shield pops, that's gonna be a huge deal and a huge problem for Spooky. Now basically your whole defensive modifier is gone and you're taking maximum damage. But Spooky able to stall it with the use of Blue Wild Assault. Great utilization of that tool. Basically when your mana shield goes pop, you want to stall for as much time as possible to give it time to regen back. And keeping the opponent in a block string is definitely one of those ways. Oh, a little bit of a mid-range hand here. Has the overhead spell and two screamers. Yeah, but this is the distance where you would like to use them. But Yappie basically not giving Spooky any time to breathe whatsoever. Nice instant air dash. Utilize the fundamentals, the basics. If a fireball character throws a fireball, you can air dash over it. However, the big haymaker from Yappie, 6 heavy, finding its mark and smacking the opponent down. Putting Yappie in a really advantageous situation here as we are moving into potential successive set points here for Yappie from here on out. Alright, finally some basic bitch kind of characters amid all of these technical ones that Spooky has been rolling into. So bad guy. Doesn't get more standard than that for Guilty Gear. Where is Soul located? If I recall correctly, was okay. It is in the mid-ish tier, the good tier.
Duel 1.
So definitely not one of the picks that Spooky was potentially hoping for, but it's definitely a character that can get a lot of stuff done, even if you don't even if you don't know all the fancy stuff, almost every single player who has played Guilty Gear Strive for a long periods of time understands the basic pressure structure that Sol runs with. Start with the close slash. Your close slash is a little bit better than many other characters. Can extend into the far slash pressure as well, which is plus. So you have a really strong pressure kit to work with. And so far, Spooky is definitely working with it. Get close and keep close is the gospel. A little too far away for that instant air dash. And now Yappie. More pressure, soft knockdown, but hasn't basically lost. Oh, I love that. We're in a positive bonus and basically looking for a couple more hits. Goes for that cross-up jump K into RC. One more hit. Comes from the overhead arbiter side. Definitely not a oh my goodness. The DLC 2K delivering. Low profiling under the bandit revolver. Uh-oh, that's a big starter. Gets a double 6 heavy in that combo. Into curse. Gets it up more. Oh, I like that. Fakes the fireball at the end there. Lands fast into a quick little low. And that is gonna be it. Yappie takes it 7-1 over Spooky. Not the most unexpected outcome for sure, for this was an extremely hard matchup to take for Spooky. So big thanks for Spooky for taking this on such a short notice and against the overwhelming odds. Tough stuff. Let's see, do we still have Crayon available? I think, based on what I've been keeping eye on the chat, I think still no signs. So that would mean the two remaining pairs that we have left are the North American matches. Oh, look at that. I think we do have Crayon now. So that means we can indeed play this one. Oh, I guess there was a little bit of miscommunication for for if the matches were gonna happen or not. But either way, I guess we are gonna have our match in the end. So Crayon is en route, and I think we've had Ruby basically ready to hit it any time. So back to the Elf versus Bedman matchup. You know what I need? I need a less creakier chair. I hope the microphone is not picking picking all of the screeches and all that. Yeah, it's okay. We basically we played some of the other matches first to stall for time, and there was basically a good whatchamacallit, a good, like, this is a perfect time to play your match, because we basically needed a little bit of extra stalling for our North American players, because it's pretty early for them. So playing this match first is the preferable course of action. So no foul, no harm. It'll be interesting to see if Ruby is as much on fire as the secret numbers have been telling tales of. I think, in fact, Ruby is, like, currently, out of like many of the players who have recently signed up on Bounty Hunters, probably some of the highest placed characters on the ranking system at the moment. Which, like, at the same time doesn't come as a super huge surprise, but to a certain extent does. Like, Ruby is extremely high up there, which would indicate that we are, I mean, we are definitely gaming. That's for sure. Oh, got an extra crash for a good measure as well. It's okay. It happens. I mean, we've had worse issues on Bounty Hunters along the years, especially as far as Guilty Gear Strive is concerned. It's kind of like if you are a TO and you host an event, like a tournament, double elimination tournament, bracket or otherwise, you should probably go in expecting that there are gonna be some major issues at one point or another of your event. Oh yeah, speaking of issues, I should probably flop this back to a rematch. Damn, my memory is impeccable. Yeah, I've been hosting events before. I know how to do this. Sometimes. Once in a while. The funny thing is, I haven't ran that many tournament brackets, to be perfectly honest. Like 90... What's a number I should pull out of my ass? 95% of the events that I've hosted are show matches of some kind. I probably run less than 10 double elimination brackets during my time TOing. So you could say I'm a bit skewed towards certain types of, you know, show match fighting game actions. Or exhibitions, rather. Okay, I think we have both Ruby and Crayon ready to go as well. Flip the names in there as well. May the best gamer come out on top. Unless we have a... gosh darn it. Is it one of those bugs where the players just can't see each other? Say it isn't so, senpai. Say it isn't so. Well, let me tell you, we have a lot of black magic ways of fixing things around here. If the players can't see each other in this lobby, we can always try to host a different lobby, and if that doesn't work, we can send them to the public park and make them play a different game so that they can then come back and see each other. Technology, I love it. Okay, we have gamings here. Ruby with the Elfelt, Crayon with Happy Chaos, sorry, not Happy Chaos, the other Happy Chaos, the Bedman. And like we were talking about earlier, mobility is gonna be an integral part of this matchup, but the mobility comes in all sorts of weird ways for both these characters, especially Bedman has very non-standard ways of moving around, but Elfelt also has a lot of like special moves that just move her around in different kinds of ways. So let's see, from what angle are we gonna approach? Backwalk into micro dash 5K. I already like what I'm seeing. I especially like when the Elfelt players know how to use their normals, because those are especially good, especially combined with your mobility. Like being able to move around, be aggressive, whip punish, protect your space, all of that. Extremely important for this character. Even though you do have a secret way out as well, and just force potentially RPS and pressure resets. Cray is starting really strong and already having Ruby in the corner with the cross up, and Ruby a little far away from the burst still. We could potentially look at a situation where if Crane gets a really good hit here, Ruby doesn't even get a chance to burst out. Ooh, see who's bursting now with the gold burst. Completely whiffing. Ruby is ready with the 6P into the Rekkas. There's just so much to think about. This is basically one of the most taxing mental stack characters in the game. Not only do you have basically a true high-low mix-up from the Rekkas, but you have to keep an eye on if the first Rekka is actually pressure reset into something, because you, like, the Elfelt player could try to throw after the S Rekka, which is only -1, could go into, reset into another Rekka. Like, you have to reset into a slightly different way as previously, or compared to what it previously was. Previously, from the S Rekka, you could have like basically infinite amount of Rekkas, but now you actually have to physically reset the Rekka sequence because you can only do 3 Rekkas in a row, and that's it. Ooh, both players trying to save and put themselves into a good position, utilizing the meter. Oh, suddenly Ruby is definitely a favorite to win here. Can you guess? High into low, or I guess this was a S Rekka into a low, while Crayon was expecting an overhead. And the bomb well will basically detonate instantly, so it's kind of like a more or less guess for your life kind of a situation, unless you have, you know, external options to maybe RPS out of there. Ruby with the scent on the burst takes it. Puts Crayon again in this fucked up situation on the bomb belt. And even if you can't get through the opponent's guard, the bomb belt will eventually explode on its own, basically resetting your pressure, allowing Elfelt to run back in and just start all over again.
Wins. Duel 2. Let's rock.
Right, approaching with the error. Bedman is a cool kind of character. After using his special moves, he's on the background. You start rolling the sort of the error timer, which is an automatically appearing follow-up attack, which is basically the mechanic that Bedman completely revolves around, where all of his mix-ups, or most of his best mix-ups and his pressure game revolves around. Just looping the guard crushes from those follow-up attacks. Oh, nice! Putting himself in a position where the follow-up attack actually chases the jump-out attempt of Ruby's. Crushed their guard, and there was basically nothing Rubee could have done there. Maybe deflect shield if there was a gap at some point. But an adapt Happy Chaos, sorry, I keep saying Happy Chaos, Bedman, an adapt Bedman player, once you do get your error rolling, basically put your opponent in a really fucked up RPS situation where they often have to know what they're doing or know at least a little bit of how your character works. With a cash out, not quite enough, but completely overwhelming odds here. Rubee's basically on a chip damage territory, but if you respect too much, of course the errors will keep coming, but if you challenge, then you run the risk of extending yourself into just instant kill from your opponent. Ooh, skips to the other side. Rubee's so close to that burst. So close, but yet so far. Chooses to go with the deflect shield instead. And now, using the lariat. Oh, is this gonna whip? Yes, indeed, that's gonna be a full punish. Close that starter, doubles it up. Rubee likes this high pace of just bombarding the opponent with all sorts of different angles and pressure resets. You have to be ready for it. They do say, if you can't air to air or air throw that grenade on reaction, then you are in a tough situation, my friend. Because that is one of the best ways for Elfo to just basically avoid being available for any of the opponent's pokes. 6B, breaking out of the corner. That single 6B basically bought Rubee 50% of the screen space. But now, Crayon's like, okay, I'll just play an Uno reverse card and take all of that real estate back. Throw you in the corner. Big frame trap into the Beyblade or the spin. However you want to name them. Oh, but Alfred canceled backwards there, so couldn't keep up the pressure. Or maybe that was the idea, to RC out of basically the burst range. Now Rubee basically in a situation where you can't really have a safe burst, so yeah, understandably choosing to use the burst resources for a slightly different kind of, a more aggressive approach.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
A lot of the time when you are basically on your last pixel, don't play for the blue burst, play for the wild assault instead. Catching them with the grenade once again. Ooh, skip a hop to the other side. Has any of these grenades been called out yet so far? Such a rocky road if you basically have to guess for your life on basically every time Elfo gets a hit on you, or gets a hit on block, or lands anything on block rather. Finds a hit with the low Rekka.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Oh, nice position here. Positioning basically at a perfect distance where the hover movement from Bedman lands and gets punished. Under with the 6B. And aligning perfectly with Crayon into a big combo as well. Getting a counter hit from on an airborne opponent. One of the best recipes for a lot of damage in Guilty Gear Strive. Sees the burst. That's a gold burst though, so can't punish it unless you make it whiff or block it in the air. Starting with 2 games for each player.
Duel 1.
There's just a lot of really non-standard kind of fighting game things like between these two characters. I mean, especially Bedman is a very strange character to begin with, so you would imagine it's a lot about just like the unique kind of stuff that particular character can put on the board. But despite like Elfo being basically a standard character, she has a lot of like strange tools that you have to take into account. This is a good reversal. I think Crayon was doing a 2 heavy there, so no way canceling yourself out of that one, and then finishing the deal with that nice snipe out of the sky. I think the air fireballs are especially difficult for Bedman to deal with because you don't have a standard dash. Oftentimes, like one of the best potential punishes would be to try to close in on Elfo aggressively and then try to run under if you can get close enough, like dash blocking. But this character, Bedman, doesn't really dash. Ooh, okay, we're getting the air throw into jump slash, vacuums the opponent into some pain and punishment. Slow reversal, can we recover? No, sir. Unfortunately not this time. Both these characters kind of suffer the same curse. The only way they can reversal out of the opponent's pressure is using their super. But both of those supers are very slow on startup. Nowhere near the golden standard 9 frames that many of the stronger or more meta characters kind of rock with. All right, activating the. That's kind of a cool sequence there. Got the deja vu, but still able to activate the install, basically putting the opponent in a checkmate situation. Because those errors are really hard to interrupt after the install goes online. Tried to anti-air there, but Elfeld is so difficult to access during the grenade lobs. She puts herself airborne, and a lot of grounded standing folks just can't reach her. To the other side, great block this time, and the 2P mash actually ends up anti-airing Ruby initially, but then, yeah, in a perfect place to go for a 6P, and despite the low rewards, that's what it takes at that amount of life bar. Big opportunity here for Ruby to potentially build momentum, or on the other hand, for Crayon to equalize it. Goldberg, we got a lot of tension coming in. That's a ricochet and a half. Basically shooting Crayon out of the skies and then intercepting in the follow-up situation. 100 meter for Crayon. Good reversal super. Ooh, that's even better. Not spending any resources to get rid of the bomb belt. Ooh, falling straight into this. Can RC if they want to. Not gonna use it though. Into close slash, that's a big one. So Crayon keeping up with Ruby's slaughtering fast pace here. It's so hard to keep up with those pressure resets, but sometimes you don't necessarily have to. Like, you are basically a character that can build for keep out and then transition into pressure without having to take a huge risk. You can use your projectiles to move yourself from full screen to basically pressure position. So you could try to just avoid the situations when you have to ever block this character, Elfeld. But I mean, once she gets in, you are kind of guessing for your life, especially if she has an opportunity to go for the Rekka. That is a pure 50-50 guess, or even more than just a 50-50. You have to keep an eye on other options as well, other than the high-low. But at the moment, ooh, backdashes the malfunction. Okay, that's a value play for Ruby, for sure. Into, okay, I guess Lucky gets the lucky break out of the tough situation, as the wall break, or rather the wall slam, basically comes out immediately after the big counter hit. There is no way out. Ruby is on a warpath and once again grasps the lead, at least for a moment. Once again, presenting the question to Crayon, what you gonna do now? Ooh, with the car crash! I mean, I think the Bridal Express from Alpha doesn't have like the best hitbox, but it is one of those moves that manifests kind of fast and moves forward extremely fast. So it has a, in that sort of way, it has a tendency to collide with a lot of things. With another grenade, and every single one of those grenades, if blocked, can give you a little bit of a mix-up for sure on the jump-in portion of the move. And Elfeld also has that very common to strive jump D, which holds your momentum in the air for just a little bit, which you can use to create very ambiguous timings on the empty lows and the overheads. Oh, that's a huge miss. Close slash ends up whiffing. Had an arrow rolling on the background as well. Ooh, however, neutral jump into air spin. Oh, here comes the two heavy with the counter hits. Decent amount of damage done. Can't quite get the super finish. Opts to go with the air normal instead. I think because there's a very limited range to Bedman's super. Maybe can't reach that high up in the air. Oh, ends up accidentally side switching. The ricochet hit, funny enough, comes back. Oh, you ain't going anywhere. Sense it. Sense the punishable on block spin out of a +10. Wild Assault of the white kind. It's an option definitely for a Bedman to solve some of these neutral situations, which Crayon did use here. Again, yeah, it looks like you do have the meter, but I guess you just can't break off the wall. And now Ruby has to make a moderately large comeback, but this is probably the optimal stage 1. With the bomb vest on. Oh, but misses the conversion. That could have been a potential chain application of the super. Time to guess. Into another throw. Looking for one more. Anyone more's? Finds a low with the 2K 2D standard. Very basic stuff, but oh so effective.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
So the advantageous position has been officially mounted by Ruby. Running away with the lead. Starting with the grenade. Going over whatever. I'm not even sure if Bedman has any grounded normals that could reach that high. It's a little bit of a hit and a miss if like a particular character does have a 6-speed that can reach high enough to catch the alpha player out of the grenade lob.
Slap. Duel 2. Let's rock.
Ooh, what was that? That was a really far away far slash. With punish even, if you will. And once again, in the mix with DJ Ruby. Oh, that was from so far away. I think the two heavy might have actually whiffed. But Crayon ended up pressing something and extending himself into the poke. Detonating the quad belt with a low option out of the Rekka. Into a kill. Clean, surgical. Once the belt is attached, it's Ruby's been so good at chasing and so good at keeping on the pressure. It's so hard to break out of that loop as well. Like, unless you have a burst, there really is no easy way out. You either guess for a really extended period, and even then you're probably looking for, even after the bomb belt explodes, you're probably looking at guessing once more. Because Alpha can run in and start her Rekkas again.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Right, since the Lariat, forcing Crayon to go for a relatively early burst here. Luckily for Crayon, it is of the gold kind, so you are building back a lot of resources that could be used here to convert. A little too far to get the bomb head to connect. Oh, the ricochet, very nice one. And now Ruby breaking it, bringing it to the corner. Bomb belt attached. able to survive it and jump out of the throw. This is rare footage of anybody surviving the bomb belt. Frame traps into the wild assault. Quite managing to convert out of it. Ruby in trouble, goes for a big send there. Once again, the air spin. If Ruby blocked that, that is multiple hits that deal substantial amount of chip as well. I think even if Ruby ended up blocking that, that could have been a chip kill. With Rekkas, changing sides this time, cornering yourself, but it's okay, because there's more mix-ups where that came from. Low into safe finisher this time. Oh, but Benman is quite heavy in terms of both, I guess. I guess there technically aren't weight classes in Guilty Gear Strive anymore, but definitely in terms of average EHP. And Ruby on set point now. Can she be stopped? Oh, there we go, that works. It's one of the downsides if you go for these corner steal mix-ups. If the opponent does manage to counterplay you or uses a burst or something of the sort, you are gonna be pushed into the corner. When you take the corner, you will be in the corner, huh? Age-old wisdom. Ah, but Ruby still had a burst in her back pocket, and now you're basically guessing for your life. Are we queuing up? Yes, indeed, the bomb belt was basically deeming that if I go for the reversal super, it's not gonna be enough, and finds the hit early into the mix-up string. Ruby, from that 3-3, exploding, mixing, sticking to the target, never letting them go. This is why we are high ranked on the ladder at the moment. Unless you have really good knowledge of this character, Alpha Valentine, which, mind you, she is not the most commonly played character at all. If you don't have the know-how and the right answers, absolutely devastatingly, infuriatingly difficult character to play against, for sure. Okay, next up, we have the two aforementioned North American matches. Are they actually both NA versus Finland? They are. Damn. Where did all of these Finnish players come from this week? As if I didn't know. Alright, let's get TayKay and Sane in here. So far, Sane has rocked a couple of different characters. It's been 2 times a Johnny and once a Baiken. And I think I heard a rumor that Sane was kind of moving forward, leaving the Johnny life behind, as far as I understood. TayKay also, I think last time we saw TayKay on Bounty Hunters, it was on a different character. Yeah, it was on Happy Chaos, right? I initially thought it was Axel, but it was somebody else. But yeah, TayKay, I think the Happy Chaos is the main character, right? And this time going in with a sub choice. But do we have TayKay? Or do we need to resort to checking if the other pair is ready to go first? Alright, we do have TayKay. So now, taking a deep breath before a beating of whatchamacallit, a beating of massive scale is gonna happen here on screen, one way or another. Slayer is one of the hardest hitting characters in the game, whereas Baiken, once she manages to get you down into a situation, into an advantageous situation, she has also very high damage from her mix-ups. So once either player gets an opening, oh boy, it is go time. They do get to that go time slightly different. Slayer usually has to basically send himself at you, but on the other hand, at the same time, has a lot of those advancing special moves that are really good at creating those quotations car crashes that we've recently seen talked about in the general fighting game communities. Baiken usually has a problem where, like, many other characters are just slightly better than her at playing neutral, but it's a sort of like it's a very twisted kind of a game here when you are playing against another character who is also not necessarily the best in the business for playing like just standard neutral. Right, here's the hoping that the matches today are gonna be good connections. I think at least one of the pairs did a connection check and deemed that it was okay. These are relatively far-range connections after all. I think especially this, because it's like, what, it's Texas to Finland, which is pretty far. At least the next one is gonna be like East Coast to Finland, so slightly better, slightly less distance. In that sort of way, the meta of this kind of matches are like slightly different, I want to say. Because if you don't have like a clean and crisp, perfect connection, things get much harder to react to, and sometimes you can't really exactly see where the opponent is going on in the screen because of, you know, how rollback works and all that. But you can still have relevant games as long as you're not like absolutely dead on sweating and, you know, getting an absolute offline experience out of your matches. Sane has been able to build into that 100 meter. We could explode, but also I guess TayKay could explode with just an empty tension bar as well. Just a quick tap on the 5B there to land. Sane. But the feather, oh, that's definitely a good way to go over that. You generally don't want to be poking with anything low when Slayer is in that perfect distance to use too heavy. That too heavy, yes, that's too heavy. That button. Ooh, good patience here. Protecting yourself against the frame trap. The initial one, the most obvious ones. Any hit here? Oh, bet the farm on the 5D tap. And smartly, Sane did stand up to block it as well. The universe would have also made it like a... I think the universe does make the 5D tap a really convertible kind of a hit. Forcing a counter hit and whatnot. Oh, nice interception from the sky. Finding a hit, close slash is what starts this pressure sequence. Left-right is the name of the game a lot of the time for Slayer. Whereas high-low tends to be, I mean, biking can play all sorts of different angles. It's not just high-lows, but in this kind of situation where you are in front of them, can jump cancel, it often tends to be between the 2D, which is the low option, and the Yozansen of the TayKay kind, which is the overhead option. Right, Sane goes up 1-0. Slamming, hammering it down into lots of plus frames. One of the coziest way for you to just reset your pressure if you think that your opponent is going to be sleeping on the wheel. Ooh, 6 being a little bit too early. However, the BRC saves the day. TayKay 6-piece into the right direction on the second go. And now we got some pressure. Biden, any hit is good. Find it. Oh, but able to fight his way out of there. Oh, that was probably meant to be TayKay Yozan, wasn't it? Whenever you see Biken go for a very early into the jump arc, let's a jump slash whiff, let's a jump slash rock, generally tends to be a misinput on a TayKay Yozan. Got the gun here, however, TayKay already in the air. Ooh, that's a dangerous distance. Very close range Mappa Hunch, certainly not plus at all. Tried to backdash out of there. Oh, here we go. 6 heavy round start here. Basically the get out of the sky button of all time. Has always been in the previous game and still kind of has that identity for Slayer 6 heavy. Able to get the Escabare reset. Now the stack is theoretically stacked against TayKay. The throw once again attaches the Kappa. Oh wait, never mind. No, it was attached already. Question mark. Oh, just a 5P anti-air. That is a really good anti-air if you don't want to go for the bigger commit the 6P. Going under the 5-beat this time around into a knockdown. Oh, fires the missiles off to the other side. That's going to be punishable. Nice, and Sane punishes it with the optimal close slash as well. To the other side, make sure that you have technically more real estate, but also forcing the opponent into a left-right mix-up. Oh, getting the tick throw. The tick throws have been hitting for TayKay so well so far. Into universe, reads the burst. I think didn't quite see that the burst was coming, so committed to continue in the block string. It's okay. Keep it flowing. We're still in there. 1-1.
Duel 1.
That's a big round start. A lot of players at this point would be immediately thinking about the burst. I mean, if I take a counter hit against Slayer, I'm barely thinking about like, okay, is this starter good or not? I'm like, oh shit, I'm hitting counter hits against one of the highest damage characters in the game. And my instincts will make me react a lot of the time. Oh, okay. Missing the Hand of Doom here. Sane in a perfect distance to get a far slash punish. Lots of meter as well. No RC surprisingly here. Of the follow-up on Kabari. Usually the closer to the climax of the round you draw, the more likely both of the players are to just start spending desperately all of their remaining tension resources. Because it could be your last time that you ever get to spend if you miss an opportunity. Yeah, we better get a back hit on that pile bunker. Yes, indeed. Lots of damage. Oh, but slightly timing errors it. And Sane is happy to deal almost as much damage back. Flips to the other side as well. Looking good. We in the mix. Unless we miss the TayKay Yozan turned into a ill-gotten jump slash. That's still anybody's game. Sane has some extra options though, nearing that 100 tension full bar. Hammering it down, 5D. Doesn't have to be blocked in any specific way when the opponent is airborne for sure. but finds a good 6B into BMB, and we take the lead here for Team US.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Yeah, starting with the 9-framer. Even Slayer, who has like relatively good round start options, has to think about the relatively far-reaching 9-frame button offs of Vikings. Oh, nice snap. Snap out of the sky there. Snap your fingers, jump B. Then next, ooh, the 2-heavy actually chases really far away. That's one of like the one of the premium features that you would love to have on your normals. When you can advance and sort of chase the opponent's backwards moving trajectories that aren't gonna happen very often because this character has the signature move Dandy Step. The nightmare situation for Slayers usually is that if somebody has something that moves forward and stays active for a very long time, then it's kind of hard because you're kind of swaying yourself back into those buttons that are still active. Oh, misses the TayKay Yosan again. 1,000 curses upon the execution here. Into universe. Oh, that's so smart. Drifting backwards out of it, and as soon as you see the opponent's Slayer miss that 2-heavy, you know you're in for a free whiff punish. If you're in the know, that is. Some players might not necessarily be on the kind of like the same layer, but basically one of your go-to tools for playing neutral against Slayer should always be, if that 2-heavy misses, then I'm going in for a whiff punish. And it is a whiff punish that you can make on reaction as well, which is like moderately rare in the business of footsies. I guess the balancing factor for how good that button is. Oh, nice. Doesn't let Sane run out of the corner for free. So 6-being on the way out. Now Sane slowly running, very low on life, gets bitten. Yep, once again, it is the 9-framer, the 9-frame goodness / my baby girl. Oh, interesting anti-air there with the Escabari. We will certainly convert out of that one, says Sane. Oh, stealing the corner. Burst here would be okay-ish. The only downside is that you have very limited amount of life left, but you did gain an okay position here. TayKay still potentially on the hunt for that. Hold 6K, bait into another throw. Can't take any hits here. The bravery from Sane's side to press the far slash. I mean, that was an impending pile bunker there, wasn't it? Or something of the sort. Mappa hunch. Like if that button hits, you are lights out immediately, my dude. But we ain't here to be scared. The perfect distance to play that 2-heavy Slayer this time around. Misses the conversion. Ah, and misses the media as well. Unfortunate. Now Sane has all of the makings of stealing this round. 100 meter as well. Yep. That's gonna be an important point for Sane to break the momentum of TayKay here as soon as we can. If they run away with too much, it's gonna get unnecessarily difficult after all. Trying to go for the whiff punish, doesn't quite get it this time. 5-heavy a little faster on the recovery for Slayer than a 2-heavy. Oh, that was an interesting looking deflect shield. Might that have been a misinput? Oh, tries to go for a parry. The timing is not quite there this time around. Sane isn't like a big parry aficionado either way. We have 100, so we can bite, and then we can smite. Let's see how hard it's gonna hit. Could be a kill. So close. Not quite. Yeah, the combo was relatively pro-rated already, but definitely worth the try. Ooh, once again, the 6 heavy. One of the best buttons for pulling them out of the sky. And it's so, like, it has so much damage as well, especially if you get a counter hit. But I mean, what button wouldn't be very lucrative on a counter hit on this character? 100 in the tank for Sane. Skip to the other side, and there is... I mean, even if there was a time to burst, I think TayKay wouldn't have taken that, because that would be a kind of a hero burst to make, as we call in the industry. Alright, poking the 6K here with the bike and far slash. Back throw into more mixes. Throw into... Oh, during the RC slowdown, mixing it up with a couple dash throughs. Sane's loaded. What are we gonna do? Send the gun, plus frames. Get in there, doesn't quite find the hit. And in fact, plummets himself at TayKay, who is absolutely ready to take that anti-air. That is kinda cool when, like, even if it's a long distance connection, if you have reactions for a reaction 6B or a reaction anti-air rather, I think you're sitting pretty okay. That's already like a lot of the basic fighting game fundamentals that you can cover. Oh, ending the string there at the perfect timing. Hard waiting for the burst. Not even baiting, just waiting. Hard waiting. The hardest of waits. That's how sure TayKay was about that burst. Alright, we got the kabari. Time to mix it up. Front side is the game of the name. Ooh, good tap on the 2P. Just one strategically, carefully chosen Abare 2P. And now any hit is gonna be for TayKay. But can we find it? There is a limited amount of the universe counter hit. Finds it with the Mappa Hunch. And starting to slowly build that momentum, that little snowball, not just in game, but in terms of the meta progression of this set, which is the score screen of the FT7. Very patient here, finally goes for the forward dash, which Sane does counter with a far slash. Little 1, 2, 3 into the corner, into the cross up. Those are generally like 20-ish frame cross ups as far as memory serves. If the P dandy step is concerned, that is the tool that can immediately dandy step through the opponent. You could also 6-6, which is slightly less committal, but also slightly less slow. But on the other hand, you can't see if Slayer is dashing forward or backwards either. I mean, it's not gonna be easy to like deal with either way. He's one of the characters who you probably want to have some sort of like fuzzy mash layer in your toolkit. That's some big hits here. TayKay's showing no signs of slowing down. Ooh, but does get counter hit here by the far slash, and that's close enough for Baiken to go for a comfy little conversion. This time, oh, unfortunately, goes for the S version instead of trying to convert with the heavy. But distance for the 2 heavy, and now TayKay closing in. Oh, but Sanes, instant air dash, catching the backdash there. It is very hard to like relocate yourself on the screen without taking huge risks. For Slayer, that is. And here we go, Tenchijin, is it gonna whiff? No, it has some vertical reach for sure, especially since I think TayKay was pressing a button. Last chance burst, can we bring it back? Take this chip damage, ain't gonna take it, gonna hold FD. But in the end, it's too little to play with. TayKay gets sniped by the instant air dash of Sane. But still sitting at a very comfortable lead position. I think TayKay is just completely chilling here at the moment. At least for a couple more games. Let's see what Sane can cook up here. The jump slash snipe of the instant air dash kind. Come here. Let's put a ring on it. We are bound together until this mix-up is run. But now TayKay's opportunity to run it. Immediate YRC from Sane. Nice reaction there on the kabari. No matter what kabari it is usually, when you see it coming out, 6P is theoretically one of the best answers that you could play. Ooh, nice Hand of Doom. A little hard to convert though. I think, can you even convert Hand of Doom if you get a counter hit? Certainly not on a normal hit, right? The close slash. Oh my god, you ended up just obliterating the drive-by Yosen-sen. One of the sequences or one of the tools that a lot of players are having difficulties with against Baiken. Oh, the 6P was so active! RC'd it as well. Eventually chose during the slowdown, chose to play onward and extended into the cookie jar again. Nice interception. It looks so good for TayKay at the moment. Cancel into super Mappa Hunch, looking for one more hit. Surely any hit is gonna kill here once you're Slayer, unless TayKay was banking on getting the meter from the positive bonus. I think that's why he chose to go for the cross-up pile bunker play. Didn't quite have enough that time, but it was okay. Ended up being an A++ sequence still. Now this is getting a little spicy for Sane. Can't drop a single game anymore if you still want to fight for the supremacy on this set. Oh, even the backdash. Fall spray to the 6P. Sorry, the 6 heavy. The vampire leg. The leg is so weird. How, like, what is even the angle? How does a human body? I guess this is not a human. How does a vampire body bend like that? But I guess that's the whole sort of character idea behind Slayer. It kind of doesn't bend in a natural way. Oh, with the cross up. Put them in the corner, even if you can't convert that with too big number or with another reward, you still manage to secure the corner position here. TayKay Yosen blocked successfully by TayKay. I'm actually shook how little value Sane has been able to get from that TayKay Yosen overhead this set. I guess, like, to be fair, they've 6 heavy meshes. Comes out with the Yosen. Was that not plus? Misses with the Mappa. Good burst here if you're feeling dangerous, but could also save it till the next round. And TayKay goes for the safe play. This is especially good because, I mean, Sane had to use the burst very early, or sorry, very late to the previous round. And now you are in a set point position. Full burst, no burst on the opponent. You're being Slayer, and getting any hit is basically a checkmate here. Is that it? Can't quite turn the super. Sane's last chance. Can we dance? Oh no, that's a terrible trade. Look at that. Bounced around like a ping pong ball. I've never seen a hit like that. But Sane basically got sent flying backwards. What is that momentum? That was a really funny looking hit and then converted by TayKay. Oh my goodness. That was from a pile bunker, wasn't it? I blinked and I missed it. Jesus. Right, Team NA is up 1. But what about this one? Team Finland still potentially able to bring it back, or at least make it even, if we can get a dub on this one. So Banjo, player never seen on Bounty Hunters before. Entering the fray with certainly threatening atmosphere, looking at that clout gas that we're rocking. It's been a while since I've seen anybody with clout gas, because like you can't get that stuff anymore, or rather there aren't that many players playing Celestial anymore, right? Right, we got Banjo, we got Niemi. And it's time to set up another heavyweight brawl. I mean, technically, Anji not necessarily the heaviest weights of the characters in this game, but certainly hits like one. Has some heavyweight associated issues, not necessarily like the most mobile character, but to compensate has some mobility special moves for sure, namely the Hujin. Always the classic way to move yourself around on along the screen with this character, Anji Mito.
Mankind knew that they...
But also the gorilla spin. See how much that... Oh, let's see how much that tool is going to be actually utilized in this matchup against Potemkin, who... Yeah, and, oh, okay, we're queuing up the 5Ds, huh? Might as well try to cash out if the opponent has already used the burst. Nice whip punish there, utilizing the fact that Potemkin's 6 heavy does not extend your hurt box at all on the startup frames. Can use that for like quotations advanced footsies, if you will. Powering through with the armor, tries to go for the overhead again. This time Banjo has already seen that once. Probably will remember that option for the rest of the set. It's like, goddamn, that cursed Potemkin player. Fully charged 5D on the first one. I ain't gonna get hit by that ever again. All the throws back and forth. Last chance to use the burst. Ooh, we go for that clean animated air throw. It's a classic Anji animation. I'm so happy that they still have that in the game. It's one of the most beautiful air throws I've ever seen in this franchise. Flicking the fan around in like a cool ass, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Speaking of the 5D taps. So the hunt though. Goes for the low. Backdash out of there by Banjo. And dashes straight into the Potemkin Buster. That's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Are you willing to dance forward when... Oh, that's so smart. Recognizes the hit on the armor. Goes for the RC to produce another hit. And now has Niemi exactly where you want him. In a checkmate, potentially. 100 meter, send it. Dance into it, trigger it, and then... That's so smart. So, ultimately, this would not be a good trade for Banjo, I think. But she recognized that you only needed one more hit, so danced straight into the Gigantor, and then went in with... What's the fish called? I mean, it's called fish now. Mirare? Was that the one? Break it off the wall. Looking so far so good. Niemi will have to work for this comeback potentially. First out of the corner. Oh, there we go. Might have to outplay the burst as well. And now look at the resources on Banjo. Full tension, full burst. RC out of the fish. Oh, frame tapping the 5 heavy. That's a good starter. That's a good ass starter. Almost as good as close slash, if not sometimes even better, I guess. Swinging a miss on that overhead, canceling into What's the... I always forget all the names of Anjis. The Shin is the plus frame fan, right? Ooh, that was so active. We're gonna punch Potemkin through the wall here. To the next screen you go. Positive bonus is active. Trying to RPS against Anji's pressure when Anji has so much meter is one of the nastiest things you can ever face in this game. I mean, even if they have taken away the Rin RC, so you can no longer convert into like a full conversion, massive combo out of Anji's overheads, it's still like the amount of chip damage you're gonna take and the amount of meter build Anji can sort of unleash on you. And then just RC back into stage 1 and go again. I think Anji is like one of the... Like, once you get to pressure your opponent with Hujin, you build like ridiculously mad amount of meter on this character. Again, this same situation again! From the minus frames, queue up the super parry. It has extra rewards as well, because if it hits, Niemi is gonna go straight through the wall. Oh, and the bait there as well. Banjo is absolutely on point with the RPS reads. And arguably these are the kind of archetypical characters who live and die by RPS. You don't play Anji unless you enjoy RPS. And same with Potemkin. Oh, got them with the go. Back onto the ground, lots of risk build and lots of plus frames as well. Able to, whoa! Why did the Potemkin Buster whiff there? I'm not sure, but Banjo with the cool jump D-loop. We got the dust loops. We ain't the original dust loop guy. That would be Mr. Bad Guy, but we can definitely do the D's. Burst used by both players, and Banjo has a lot of resources in her account. Wasn't quite able to RC here. But definitely has had the right idea earlier. You know, poke into the Potemkin player's armor, especially since Niemi is definitely an armor enjoyer. Deep in his heart, I reckon, based on the kind of gameplay loops that Niemi loves to engage in. Did you press? Oh, they go straight through! Are you kidding me? I guess if it depends on like your positions where the dance is fired, because you do keep spinning forward for a little while after the parry frame. And the Gigantor was already in motion. The knockdown from the fish once again. Good blocks from Niemi. Tries to close in using the armor again. That's a whiff! But able to block on the landing here. So no huge damage done just yet. But Banjo setting up the offensive perimeter. You jump out, close slash, anti-air, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. This could be really close, because not quite, I guess. If there's one thing to say about the Anji Super, it is a lot of hits, so if guts, like if you're simply doing it for guts crush, it's okay. But I mean, the general amount of damage that Super does is a little bit underwhelming, considering how much damage Anji already does with the rest of his kit, or compared to the rest of his kit, rather. That's gonna be a punish. Yep, immediate burst by Niemi, still locked up in the corner. And is, I think, gonna be locked up there for a very long time. For look at this meter that Banjo has confirmed out of the low follow-up of Hujin. I say that because I forget the name of that move. Nagiha, that's it. Never forget. Never remember Nagiha. Never remember Shin. Never remember any of these. Rin. What else? Who's also coming for dinner? It's gonna be a hard knockdown and guess for your life. Good timing on that 2K. Calls out the backdash as well. Sends it, core from the round start. Misses the throw though. Aggressive burst, Niemi almost close to building a blue burst of their own. That was a block on Rin, but no punish! Blink and you miss it, unfortunately. Oh, straight into the close slash of Niemi's. Dancing the armor move and getting a nice little punish there as well. Go into a simple too heavy into Heat Gauntlet. Again, making sure that if there is a connection on the armor, the RC is gonna take care of it, because the Red Roman Cancel produces the shockwave, which is technically considered a strike. So multiple hits going in. Shin jumps out of it. No plus frames from the fans. This time around goes for the buster a little too early. If Niemi had holded the momentum, could have waited for the landing there, I reckon. But alas, life situation equalized, but one of the players has more meter than the other. Does it matter though? Will it matter? Niemi builds into the 50, tries to spit a fan through the mirror, yet it does not reach. Niemi is too far to be hit on the board. I think this is probably the last comfortable point where you're gonna say, okay, I can still run it back. So let me just get the engine started and let's play this. Oh, 6, that actually punished still, huh? Or was that a punish? I don't think I saw a punish text there. Yep, break it into the buster if the opponent is sleeping. Oh, this backlash could be caught. That's so smart! That's so smart, powering through with the what's that move called? I don't think I remember any of Banjo's move names. This is embarrassing. Oh, the aerial fan throw collides with the armor. Lets Niemi break out of it straight into Potemkin Buster. Right, working with these beautiful roots once again. 40% is nothing to scoff at against one of the hardest or highest EHP characters in the game. Banjo has so many resources as well. Ooh, run cancel a little bit too far. Bringing it to the other corner. Just kidding. I dropped that for style points. And then bringing it back. Oh no! The backdash! Too much recovery. Niemi catches with the Okay, I see. So full send here on the Potemkin Buster and FRC into Heavenly to deal as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, that isn't gonna finish Banjo, and that cost Niemi basically all of his meter. Oh! Niemi finds his timing. I love that. The delay there. And the angle! Oh my goodness! Wait, Banjo didn't actually send the what's the move called? Sent the core. So Niemi was able to cross over with the double jump. Standard plus frames, slap them with the Rin, and the Rin, even though it can't really convert, it always knocks them down. So you at least get to re-pressure with a close slash afterwards. Or whatever your heart desires, basically. Starting with the 2-slash. Catching Niemi on the slow buttons. Oh my goodness. Okay, we go for a gold burst. Aggressively, like so. 5B ends up trading with the jump slash. The jump slash from Potemkin is definitely a button. Goes for the hard bait on the burst. Niemi not quite ready to bite just yet. But if you want to utilize that burst, soon is gonna be the time. Ooh, that's so smart again with the double jump. Jump forward, jump backwards, make the Hujin whiff. Doesn't quite get Niemi into the dominant position that he was probably hoping for. 5-2 on Banjo's favor. It is looking like a North American night tonight. Team Finland lacking severely behind. Ooh, that rhymes. Damn. Am I a future rapper? Ooh, the Ring still chasing far and wide. There is nowhere to run. for Niemi, even for a grappler character who is supposed to have a crazy cracked backdash. Although, I mean, Potemkin doesn't really necessarily have that anymore. Used to have the most cracked backdash you've ever seen in a fighting game, but relatively tame this time around. Once again, spinning, sending Ko, charging the 5D, going for a full send. That is a lot of damage. Half of your life gone and a positive bonus on top of that. Powering through the armor, it's hard. Nice. Oh, had a whiff punish opportunity there. I think maybe you can. The 6 heavy is in recovery state for a very long time, but on the other hand, Anji doesn't necessarily have the furthest reaching buttons. Nice read there, the neutral jump. Dancing into the mirror, however, the spacing is not favoring Banjo this time around. Do it again. This time with the super. Go through the wall. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. Attack them with the low, and just like that, sweep them off and feed. Putting Banjo in 6 points now. Looking dangerous. Can we still get... Can we get any more for Team Finland on the board? Starting with a buster. Baiting the burst. Okay, cool. Even though that was just on a gold burst. Looking for a potentially 3-tap here. 1, 2. Both of those started from a buster. Can we get another one? They never see the third buster coming! They never see it coming! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it would send it. Ooh, the overhead block again. I think that's either Niemi can't quite keep up with the pace or he's not in the know. The frame data on that Rin is not very good, as we say in the industry. Oh, but the break buster once again. Are you awake? Are you okay? Buster Wolf through the mirror. Niemi actually goes for the burst here, wants to end it right now. Well, the investment on the burst, even though you didn't get the round, it kind of did its job, forcing Banjo to go for a counter burst in order to survive. So now, going into this last round, potentially last round of the where the 2P go? Potemkin! Hello! Where are you praying? What direction are you praying? Here comes the wall break. That's a hard kind as well. Banjo potentially looking to end it right here. This is set point. Oh, but the armor powering through once again. Yep. You're paying a little bit of a... I mean, there is a cost. This could be a kill. Oh, drops it. Are the nerves hitting? The burst does build, but doesn't manage to hit it. Banjo was looking for it too. The hesitation there, and then the 5B afterwards. But Team NA, a crushing victory tonight over Finland. And I think that would be all the sets for tonight, right? We went through in a slightly unorthodox order. Let me think. Maunuri, ZoKHiZ, RubeePrison, Yappie Spooky, TayKay, Sane. Yeah, that was all of them. Okay, we made it through. On time as well, while having a random matchup or random pick matchup on the roster. Finished around 8 p.m. CET. Absolutely perfect. Okay. That will be it for this week on Bounty Hunters front. If you want to sign up for next week, join the Discord. We'll try to set you up with somebody who is of the same skill level as you, and hopefully has a good connection to you as well. We'll play these thrilling, gut-wrenching, heart-throbbing FT7 matches next Sunday, as well as pretty much all the Sundays after that for the foreseeable future. But yeah, it's been fun. I will bid you farewell for now. See you next Sunday as well. Till then, stay safe, play Guilty Gear, prosper, my friends. Hit those counter hits. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.